He has arrived. Everyone, it's time for Jonno. That's so slick, just seeing like Monster Hunter in the chat. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I was having an issue with my controller earlier too. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I think we're gonna try and do this live. So I'm gonna turn this down, turn this all the way up.
Hello. How's it going?
Okay. Oh, maybe I'm balancing
The
audio
_ nothing
live.
gifted Monster Hunter a subscription. The _ nothing gifted a tier 1 sub to Monster Hunter. This is their first gift sub in the channel.
Audio levels, I mean, I'm sure you found already. You've been doing a lot of
Is that hair growing on your earlobe? Oh, yeah.
Hardest...
My hairy daddy.
Hardest part of streaming is just balancing your audio. I'm deaf now.
It is. I feel that. I've had that where I've started a stream and I'm very quiet.
Now I feel like... All right. Well, I guess you just tell me about your day, Jonno, and I'm just going to be staring at... my audio levels. My ears are ringing right now. They're not ringing. You're fine.
Okay, so my day's been good. It's been very Monster Hunter-y, unsurprisingly. You know, there's a cool little Blast Toad post just went out on Twitter as well. So if you're a fan of Endemic Life, I do recommend checking it out.
I am a fan of
I've been looking
Life.
forward as well to do some hunts with your fine self, Mr. Shepard.
Yeah,
I have only HR5 though, because I only play on my PC account when I've been streaming.
Oh no! So wait, where are you? What HR are you? 5?
Yeah, quite low. You know, been burning through some urgent quests.
I will make some level appropriate gear. For sure. Okay, so it seems like your microphone's louder than it was last time, which is good, which means I could probably turn you down a little bit. People are saying I'm too quiet now.
Yeah,
what is the microphone you're using anyways?
Basically, for the PC release of Monster Hunter Rise, I'm on a new setup. So I've got given a very swanky streaming headset.
I heard about that.
It's much higher quality than my old passive gaming one I use for personal stuff.
Are you playing it at 4K or are you playing it high FPS instead? Or are you playing it at both?
They did. So I'm all kitted out to play Monster Hunter Rise on PC. I can, but I'm playing it just at 1080 just for streaming and all that, so I don't melt my modem.
All right, guys. Now I'm as loud as I can get. Is Jonno at a good level now? I think I went extreme.
Yeah, keep turning me down.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, good heaven.
And then that should be the code.
I'm but a humble guest on your delicious stream, so you know I don't want to be louder than your fine self.
No, we should be balanced. So, and I'll tell you, I really got to think, whose idea was it for the gift sub to get DLC for that one Twitch promotion? Do you know which one I'm referring to?
That was a combination. That was a combination of the crew at Capcom USA and Twitch.
It was insane. I don't really know how to properly express that.
It was really cool to see.
I mean, Jonno, I've like doubled. I mean, of course it's not going to be permanent, but that was like kind of like streamer charity. Essentially streamer charity. That's what that was. Whether or not it was acknowledged as such or not.
Ooh, I can't hear you on Discord. That's weird. I can only hear you through the stream. That's why I'm delayed.
Oh.
How bizarre. Let me...
What?
let me see if I can fix that. It's probably me. So just a
Oh,
moment.
you're hearing
to
me on
keep
the
peace of
stream
mind.
delay?
Uh,
That's not
That's
good.
why it looked like I was being strange and not responding, because I could hear you through the stream but not Discord. So I'm just going to go in there and output device. And now it's your turn, I think, to keep
Yeah,
talking.
no, I mean, I was just saying it was
There
very,
we go.
whoever the brain children of that, I mean, I could definitely see that being something that is done over time, to the benefit of streamers that are, have either been playing a series for a long time or just as a way to help like kick off a launch or something like that.
Yeah, like I love to see it. The whole team love to see it, and it's great to see have Capcom and Twitch team up for this. And it was great to see, and to say it was something that came together quite quickly near launch. So for a first time and in the limited time span we had to do it, it's so great to see it go down so well and see it support Monster Hunter creators and,
Yeah.
and other creators as well. So yeah, like it's great to hear your feedback, and I'm so glad it's done you well.
It was unbelievable.
And it's a win-win. People like yourself get to play Monster Hunter. There's this fresh audience coming in, and you get to benefit from as your career, in regards to your income as well. And it's a win for your viewers because they get to support you.
No, people are like, well, I was going to buy the stuff
Yeah.
anyways, or at the very least,
Yeah.
this is kind of a fun thing to get into.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why not support, your favorite streamer like yourself and get something cool for the game you want, because, so it's a nice mutually beneficial thing. I think it's winners all round.
Yeah,
basically.
no arguments there, for sure. I'm trying to make myself level appropriate right now. I think I'm doing a relatively...
Yeah, you're a little bit higher than me. I think you've been playing for a few hours more.
I don't know if I've been playing more on PC or when Switch when it came out, to be quite honest with you.
I'm in that predicament, right? So I've put a ton of hours into Switch. Obviously, I'm all Sword and Shield on there. And I'm like, so when it comes... Obviously, I'm going to be playing on both platforms for some break. But I'm like, which one am I going to play more? Like, and obviously I'm Hunting Horn on PC as well. So it's very different to what I'm used to. So I'm like, where am I going to kind of spend my personal time with Sunbreak? And honestly, I can't settle either way at the moment because both have their benefits.
The gyro on Switch is still really, really nice. Oh, that's good. I can ask you questions, right?
Yeah, you can ask me questions.
So gyro is obviously amazing on Switch and like really like a game changer. Like I know gyro controls are in general better received on the Switch for whatever reason. You just post anything you want. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, let's smash out some urgent. Let's get to the get to the farm.
And I'm just going to be using baby gear.
You could use whatever you like.
But that being said, and I know there's only really a very few handful of games that are on Steam that actually natively support gyro. It's very few, but has that been something that, has it been looked into at all? Is that API not really there yet? About like, say somebody had like their Switch Pro controller and just wanted to just have like the same checkbox like the Switch to enable gyro on the PC.
That I don't know yet. And partly as well, I think the Nintendo Switch Pro controller is kind of in beta on Steam right now because you have to opt into the beta branch to use it. So I don't know if there's some behind the scenes stuff as to why that's not in yet. But it's not been something I've been involved in active discussion with, if that makes sense. It could be in discussion.
Sure.
But I haven't chased that up in particular. But what is nice though is how they've really done the buttons in the game, where whichever controller you're using, you can go into the settings and adjust it. So that all the in-game prompts and all of that actually lines up to what you're using. Because I know especially switching between like a Switch Pro controller and like a PlayStation controller or Xbox controller, your muscle memory's going through the ringer. It's like,
oh, absolutely.
What's going on?
In the review I did, I actually gave it extremely high marks for that. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen a game that has had such an extensive array of button prompts for you to use. Like, I know in some games it's just like they don't even have controller prompts. It's just like press the 1 button, which is like the X button. And you're like, you have no idea. So yeah, I mean,
Help me.
absolutely. Well, very well done in that regard.
Yeah, like what's been really good, obviously, before launch, there was a lot of questions like, is this just a port in regards to, did they just lift the game and stuff like that? Whereas, the amount of quality and attention that's gone into the PC version, I really like, the new features, the filters, 4K, ultra wide, all those goodies. I mean, you know that you've been playing it for quite a bit.
It's a couple hundred hours. I think I'm over 200 hours. I'm not quite sure.
Nice.
Do you know if there are plans to add more features or filters as time goes on? That seems like the sort of thing that you could like have one of the artist dudes potentially be playing around with from time to time.
It's definitely a request we've seen. I don't know, but it's a feature that's gone down well. So I guess it depends on what the plans are, internally. But the reception's been great. I mean, what's your favorite one? Like mine is War in Lands.
Oh, War in Lands, easy.
War in Lands.
There's no question.
I love it. Like, just how it makes monsters look, especially ones like, Magna Marlowe, and just all the particle effects. I absolutely adore them.
Oh, so there's a question though, and this is maybe delicate conversation, maybe not. Some of the cutscenes do appear to run at 30 FPS.
Yeah.
Oh, you're already way on board about that.
Yeah. I don't know why that is the case, but yeah, no, they do. Some of the cutscenes do run at 30 FPS. Why? I don't know.
Probably just one of those things that maybe didn't even really come up or register too much, or maybe there was a timing thing or something like that that led to instability if, things going out of sync or something. I don't know.
Yeah, say I imagine because obviously the cutscenes are pre-rendered, obviously, and things like that, and I'm not an engineer, so I'm a coder.
Why aren't you an engineer?
Why?
Come on.
Some people do think the community managers also fix the game, so that you put something up like, why are you tweeting insteing
You're
of
the one I
fixing
could
the bug?
talk to. Why can't you
Yeah.
do it?
Sorry.
I'll handle this one. Verhoeven wants to know, being able to transfer saves between platforms would be nice. There was at least one community poll from Capcom about people's interest in cross-play and cross-save. For now, I believe their official statement is still it's not something that they could do at this time, but they're aware. Is that fair, Jonno?
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, I mean, the poll was great. It really kind of sent a message saying, this is important for the community. But yeah, and as you said, at the stage of development, it wasn't feasible to implement it. It wasn't possible, which is a shame. But it's firmly on our radar now. Is in the community would really appreciate this, which is great. I think that's a big win for everyone.
I didn't 100% realize we were going to be doing an actual high rank hunt, so I'm really using very low rank gear right now.
That's okay. I may be HR5, but my heart is high rank.
No, it's potent.
I've only got the first version of the Magna Marlowe hunting horn. I haven't even got the upgraded one because he won't drop me a plate. He's very rude.
I'll say though, even just playing through Steam Link on either an iPad or through the Steam Link itself, the actual little device, the game works and plays wonderfully like that. I'm not sure if you've tried that at all. If you have one of those in your house, or if you've got a little tablet or phone that you would run it on, but it's pretty great.
No, my iPhone's ancient.
Yeah.
But I mean, the optimization in general is great. There haven't been many complaints of people going, "Oh, my PC can't run this," and things like that. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the optimization and as many people trying it as possible. Of course, a lot of people are excited for the Steam Deck.
I was just looking at my pre-order yesterday, trying to figure out when it's going to ship. It still says quarter after quarter 2, which is a little bit of a shame, but whatever. When it's here, it'll be nice.
Oh, no doubt it's going to be an awesome piece of kit.
Yeah.
I'm still learning my iframes on that performance.
It's tight. It really is tight. Oh, and even though we are on PC, I do need to say, I was there night one immediately when the USJ stuff dropped on the Switch.
Oh, yes.
Woo! I love it. Finally! A decent elemental longsword.
True. And also as well, I made sure to make the arms on the set. So I was like,
Oh, that's
crit
good.
element.
Lot of the weapons. Actually, both of the weapons are great, and then the armor too. I think it's the legs and the chest and the arms are all pretty good value. So that's
It's
really
a great
neat.
piece of kit. Yeah, like, and I'm a huge fan of elemental and status weapons. So like anything like that, I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Like, I will have some of that.
Well, you do a lot of the sword and shield, and even
Oh yes.
I mean, a hunting horn doesn't really benefit a ton from element or status, but I mean, you can throw it on your rampage. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I would say for my rampage, obviously, I hear the hunting horn is quite the rampage weapon.
It
so I'm
really
looking forward
is.
to making one of those.
Is very nice. I mean, there's certain song lists you can only get from some of the other horns, like the Tio horn is really nice.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
Diablo's
think-
horn is actually really nice too.
See, I've definitely got. I think my next horn, as I progress, will be Basil horn, and then I'm gonna go for Tio and Rampage for like endgame.
Sure.
And then kind of diversify from there. But obviously, the Basil's got like obviously healer L on it.
What is that? What is he doing?
He's become a Toby Kadachi on the
It's like
trees.
on the wall. Look how good he looks though. Like his legs are properly positioned with hanging down and everything. I tell you.
Yeah, like the animation and like the skeleton structure is awesome. Like a lot of care and attention.
It's funny.
Oh, it's a gun lance. I thought it was a normal lance when I looked at it in the hub.
It's the shell lance, and I think I did put anti-aquatic on there. Which I've been messing around with anti-aquatic a lot more now than I did back on the Switch. Now I'm telling you, that's a very top tier skill.
You're enjoying it because obviously there's the Wyvern version which is really popular.
It's good, but it's not as powerful. The anti-aquatic is 10% more damage, whereas everything else is only 5. Which I think is balanced, but it's interesting that the aquatic gets so specifically targeted.
It's interesting.
Yeah, no,
Interesting.
it's a lot. And it
Maybe-
applies to everything. It even applies to the gun lance shelling.
Ooh. I mean, everyone loves a flat buff, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes. It's always good.
Oh, talking of aquatic, Durantadors.
It would be good on him. So I know the conversation was, and I think you actually confirmed it on one of the Monster Hunter channel live streams. The expectation is that we should be getting some pretty big drops of event quests on PC over the months of, I guess, really February. But there might be some, I guess, this Thursday as well.
Yeah, so in regards to PC Event Quest, the plan is kind of like late February to bring it in sync with Switch. So, those who have, got to endgame and are looking for more Apex emergencies and things like
No,
that.
that's me.
You'll be getting all those goodies. And obviously all the other quests, you got your other event quests like layered gear and things like that and poses. So yeah, late September for that. Not late September, late February. What am I-
February. No, it's so long.
February. Yeah.
Do you know if it's going to be done? I mean, and you may not be able to say, but is it going to be done like a little bit at a time, or is it just going to be like one huge thing and then like they'll be up like right next to each other?
So yeah, February is going to be like a big dump to bring PC up
I see.
to Switch.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be like, right, here's what you're missing so far. And then I believe after that, it'll kind of be, they'll be following the...
Okay, so that's going to be
the
huge
plan.
because there's still like, what is there? There's emergency Diablos, emergency Magnamalo.
Yeah, there is... Obviously, you got like the Nawa quest.
Emergency
As well, the All-Mother.
Narwa. I think emergency is it Narwa? Is it All Mother?
There's the All-Mother variant.
All-Mother one, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously there's Advanced Magnamalo as
Yeah.
well. So there's going to be some real challenging quests for people, to put their lovely farmed gear to the test with. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And then obviously USJ.
Yeah, I mean,
for
yeah.
PC.
I mean, that's really nice to be able to have that as an option. Especially, lance and bow players really, really benefit. Like,
Oh
extensively.
gosh, yeah. Elemental City. Oh, nearly got this one down.
Well, we did it. We did it with both extraordinarily low-rank weapons, but we pulled
That's
it
true.
off. Not September,
That's-
Mox. It was February. Sometime in February.
Yeah, I don't know why I had September in my head. Yeah, February. It'll be late February for the big kind of sync update
Yeah.
between PC and Switch.
Yeah. What is USJ? So USJ is short for Universal Studios Japan. And for a long time now, I don't even know how long, but going back many Monster Hunter games, they will sometimes do like kind of like a partnership with Capcom, and they'll have like an event or a ride or something like that themed around Monster Hunter. And then Monster Hunter will usually have an event quest, sometimes with gear included as well. It at least went back as far back as 4U. Was the Star Knight technically USJ armor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, generally very usable, if not outright. Sometimes the best gear in the game, at least the easiest to use. So,
Yeah, I mean, if Valstrax gear wasn't in the game, or you're quite far off HR 100, like definitely don't sleep on the USJ gear when it comes to PC.
I mean, it competes with endgame stuff. You know,
Yeah, it's not to be slept on. And also, if you don't want to use it, you can turn it into layered gear.
that is true too, and it does look really great as layered gear. I really like the way the dog looks. The cat kind of scares me. The cat is a little concerning. I'm sorry. That's a personal feeling. I look at him, and he looks dangerous.
I love the Palamute with that hair.
The Palamute is great.
Powerful,
Palamute, I feel
powerful
safe
hair.
with him, but the Palico itself is concerning. Okay, so that's really interesting then. So, there's still tons of, like, I still haven't finished all the quests in the game, so I still have a decent way to go in terms of finishing everything there. And I'm attempting to make, like, basically every element and every status with each weapon.
Ooh, I like it. Fully ready for Sunbreak.
Well, the hope and the dream is, it's not that. So, like, we've had this conversation, like, the weapon balancing in Rise is actually incredibly well done, because, like, you have your easy, like, no problem, like, just make your dog a weapon and be done with it. But really, for more weapons than I think people gave credit for, status or, especially element actually ends up working really well. It's not a clear out and out winner like it is in many cases. Like, dual blades, for the most part, definitely really win all the time. But my dream, my wonderland would be, like, even Greatsword would want to run element. Now, I know that's, like, probably never going to happen, but, like, I can dream. People are making fun of me in my chat. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, so we never know, like, we look at kind of what Iceborne brought to World, and this is me purely speculating, this isn't me kind of hinting. You look at kind of, like, sets like, Volcana's set, the kind of Frost Sheath and things like that, and how kind of, like, Silver Rathalos gear as well, really kind of boosted element. So, I'm really keen to see, if Sunbreak brings anything like that as well for element weapons, that kind of gives them a cool, unique kind of feature or twist, or even just armor skills or sets that kind of really, really push element. And, we've seen obviously how, like, Rampage skills can do cool stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think there's definitely potential there if that's what the team decide to kind of do with element. But even then, I'm still going to use element, I think, because I really enjoy it. And, when you're hitting those weak points and things, it feels great.
I just realized today that Diablos has a 30% ice weak spot on his stomach. It's, like, insanely high for element. It's, like, so incredibly high.
Delicious.
Yeah. I'm just really curious to see the director Suzuki and his vision. Like, it's always, like, really exciting to see, like, how, their style and their take and the balance and everything else like that ends up reflecting.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I'm fighting this Voltodon. I have no clue what I'm doing.
Getting that Wyvern ride in, no doubt.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
That's all part of the plan. I mean, obviously, Director Suzuki is the father of the demo Magnum Arlo, so, we know we're in for a treat.
That's what I always say. I say trust. Trust in it.
And also, like, Director Suzuki as well, like, he's been sharing some ramping up, like, teasers over on, like, the social media channels on Twitter.
I saw something like a Magnum Arlo post.
There was
weird tongues going on. What was that him?
Oh, the Malzeno post.
Malzeno, sorry.
Yeah. So that runs alongside Director Suzuki's post. So you'll tell if it's a Suzuki post because he always signs them off.
Right.
Whereas the other ones are written in the same style, but they're not directly from the director. But there's some cool tidbits in there, so definitely watch out for them. But Director Suzuki recently shared a post saying that there's something called Kingdom Creatures in Sunbreak.
Kingdom Creatures?
Kingdom Creatures. And he says it's a really important phrase and that he'll be revealing more important phrases over time.
So
So
this
I'm
is the
really
first
keen
time
to
I've
see
heard
what
this, so I
this
must have
is.
missed that somehow. So I mean, the speculation would be is like maybe that would be like the, you know, their version of like an Apex or a Tempered or something else along those lines. Very interesting.
No idea. It's definitely something to speculate about what a kingdom creature is, because he's highlighted that it's important. Um,
He won't tell us yet. We may know in the spring though. We might get at least a further clue, right?
well, yeah, the team and director Suzuki have said that, if you're looking for more Sunbreak news, spring is going to be an absolute treat. So
It would be really nice, and I think we've talked about this before, but for World and Iceborne, it did seem like there were a real lot of those like little director showcases where they'd be interviewed and talk about the state of the game. Like, I can't remember the number of times I saw like Ryozo-san and like Ichihara sitting there talking about the state of the game, the things that they wanted, the things that they liked.
yes, yeah, and it's a great thing, and I'm sure the team are keen to kind of get that level of communication back in. I know one challenge has obviously been, unfortunately, the pandemic.
Sure. Yeah, no, and that's completely understandable. I mean,
Yeah, and
what are you gonna
especially
do?
because, yeah, when they're doing shows like that, obviously you've got the team themselves, you've got the production crew, all of that. So it's a lot of people in a very enclosed space. And one thing that's really, really lovely about Capcom is they're taking it very seriously, and employee welfare, and it's not me sucking up. They really do look after us in regards to cautions. Staff health first, don't take risks. Work from home and things like that. So yeah, they're definitely it's purely precaution.
Yeah,
to
and
look after
I've
the
seen.
team.
I mean, those you are right. Those are very polished events, and it may be to them is like if they can't do it with the level of polish that they want, then maybe they'd rather not do it at all. And I get it. I mean, that's that's a decision to be made.
Yeah, it's like with anything, they feel that the Monster Hunter community deserve the best if we're going to do something. Let's see what spring brings. I'm excited. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great stuff. And what we saw with Luna Garon. I want to know more about Luna Garon as well.
Sure, yeah. No, we only got a scant maybe 10 seconds on him, but it'd be cool to see a fight. Sure, at least a little bit of him doing something.
I'm sure he's got some tricks up his sleeve.
I feel so bad for Bizarius in this game. I don't know why. It feels like he's here by accident. Like, why did you guys pull me in here?
He's like,
He's
yeah,
such
you're
a
meant
cool
to get
fight,
involved
though.
on.
Can we get an oops all emergency before Sunbreak comes out? Can we just have like every monster get emergency quest?
You just really want a massive punishment.
Because like we were talking about the other day, like even the humble Royal Ludroth has kind of a tricky moveset if you're not careful.
Yeah, it's when you take the fight for granted, you can be punished. But I was joking with Yuri. I was like, imagine if there was an Apex Emergency Great Izuchi,
Yeah.
but then it also buffed the normal Izuchi that were his or hers wingmen.
That could happen.
That would be hilarious. Obviously, that's not me once again. I'm not going, oh yeah, this would be cool. Literally, this was just me going, can you imagine how hilarious that would be?
Yeah. Mox has a question about PC mods, and I would say refer to Capcom's official policy under the video.
I think
The
that would
video
be a
creation
very good
section.
answer. Yes, I think that would be a very good answer.
I can speak very informally, very off the record. If you do anything to impair another player's playing online, hacking in any way, just be careful. Don't do it. Don't do it. Not even be careful. Don't do it. Just don't. I don't run anything. Just so you know, I'm a pure streamer. I'm an official Capcom creator now. I think. Hey, we haven't streamed since I did that, right? We haven't
When did
talked
you
really.
get-
We certainly haven't
No.
talked on stream.
You must have got your. You must have got it through quite early, which is good.
It's literally day one. I think maybe it was day 2.
Nice. You were straight in there because say people are still finding out as well that they're being accepted. Which is really really cool.
No, it was
But no,
great.
congratulations! It's so
Thank
good
you.
to have you. As a Capcom creator. No surprises you got accepted. It's,
I've been making this stuff for like 10 years. You
Yeah,
know
we'll
what I
think
mean?
about it. We'll get back to you. Yeah.
It would be a certain level of tragedy if I didn't get accepted.
There's
But it's been
never
nice.
any doubt.
It's you know it's not something you see from a lot of other game companies, at least not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, it's quite a big logistical thing, and it can be very tricky to do
It
right.
seems like a nightmare. It's a lot of
Yeah.
people to be corralling, like you're herding cats.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why at the minute it's focused around the USA because there's one kind of primary spoken language, being English. Whereas obviously, for example, if you look at Europe, one of the challenges is every country speaks a different language,
Yeah.
mostly. So, if you're going to do it, you'd need to make sure that you cover everyone and everyone gets the same treatment. So you can't be, you wouldn't want to be preferential towards, say, English or French or something like
No.
that. So yeah, Capcom USA seemed like a great place to launch that because everyone could be spoken to in English. um, but no, it's been really good to see people so excited to be part of it, and I can't wait for it to fully get rolling. And what it does to support Monster Hunter creators.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
definitely
super
the
excited.
timing was about perfect because you had all the excitement with that, along with the excitement of the PC launch. And the PC launch, from my perspective, at least in terms of how it's been on Twitch, seems to have been just as powerful, really, as the Switch launch was. What are you able to say in terms of what you've seen so far from your perspective?
I think it's been great. Like the pickup from so many creators. I mean, it's great. Obviously, the Monster Hunter creators like yourself, and as well as new streamers and things coming and trying it out. It's been wonderful, and I like to kind of flick through the directory, and seeing so many streamers of so many sizes. Like just smaller streamers and things like that. Bring in their communities, and I think as well when you're like a smaller streamer, your community is incredibly important to you. So trying new things can be a risk or quite scary.
It can be. I mean, there's no easy like solution for how or what or when to stream. But certainly every time you try a new game, I mean, it could turn out great, or it could be like, oh, oops, that didn't play at all. Although I'd say for the most part, especially with a smaller community, I mean, Monster Hunter could be great because it does have that cooperative sort of aspect to it, and especially if you're learning it for the first time, you should absolutely play it in multiplayer and co-op.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, Monster Hunter is a great experience solo, but I love it in multiplayer. I'll always try
It's
and
a
play
different game.
multiplayer.
It plays
Yeah.
completely different for me when I play with other people. Mike, you had a question about layered weapons. There are layered weapons in the game. You have to make in full. I think you have to fully upgrade rampage weapons.
Yes,
And-
Rampage currently is the way for layered weapons.
And I like
Um,
that actually. I like it a lot that is the way that they're managed like that. It still gives the weapons a little bit of a feeling of exclusivity in terms of like if you're using like the actual weapon. And in some
Yeah.
cases, like Rampage ends up feeling like the best weapon in a tree anyways, and if that's the case, that's great. But otherwise, actually using like a Kushala or a gun lance or something like that can be kind of neat.
I agree, and as you said, like in regards to like the history of layered weapons, like in Iceborne, the introduction of layered weapons didn't come until quite late into the kind of content cycle for the game. Whereas in Rise already there is a way to make layered weapons if you choose to follow it. And I like it kind of follows the idea that this Rampage weapon is a weapon you have built and you have chosen yourself. So I like the fact that you can kind of then give it that aesthetic look that you choose as well. It's kind of like this is my weapon, I made it. And
Yeah.
this is what
that
I
makes a
wanted
lot
to
of
do.
sense in the context of the way that it's upgraded and everything else like that. And it could be a lot of work. I mean, it really, if you're making like say you wanted to make 5 Rampage weapons for every weapon type, I mean that's gonna be a lot of apexes killed.
Yeah.
I'm fairly happy with it. I think it's about as well done as you could have done it.
Yeah, I like it. And the thing is, like, the weapon designs in Rise are lovely as well. So, like, I don't feel like I'm not immediately like, right, this needs to be covered up or anything like that.
That was a mild world complaint. I think that's fair. I think that's fair criticism. I don't think I'll get blacklisted.
No, no, I mean, we saw it from, players and things. They were expecting the kind of more fantastical weapons that,
Well,
the people are used to in Monster Hunter, where you look at it and you go, that's clearly a Rapalock weapon or something like that. And as we saw in Iceborne, the weapons then did start to take on that
right, they
mantle
did.
again.
Yeah, you had a lot of them. I mean, I think it came. This is my speculation, and I think there was some development notes about it. I think the goal for World was for it to be a fully modular weapon system, and that you could have added. And it's kind of like how the layered the weapon augment system worked in the Guiding Lands. I think that kind of ended up being sort of what their original plan was for World. Was you're going to have all these weapons, you're going to completely customize them up. It could be a bone or it could be ore or anything, and you would just add like Rathalos parts to it, and that's how you would get maybe your fire version. And then just for whatever reason along development, I guess they decided either they didn't like it or whatever, but they had all these weapons that were just that, base bone and then with like a little scale or something on the side.
Yeah, and I mentioned that as well. Some people underestimate the amount of work that goes into like the artistic and creative side of the game.
It's a ton of work.
I'm not saying you
Hunter
know exactly how it is. You know exactly how it is. But people are like, oh, why can't you just do this design or do this? And you've got the concept art, the modeling, the rigging, the QA, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's great to see with Iceborne, that kind of community sentiment was addressed. The team clearly heard what was being said. And with Rise, we have all these wonderful, wonderful weapons.
Yeah, and zero complaints. I mean, some of the best looking stuff. I mean, my egg is vibrating wildly right now.
I can see it wibbling around.
And it's honestly, it's a very unique weapon too. I mean, it's a very strange weapon in the context of the game. It's probably one of the few things you would consider running Handicraft 5 on.
Maximum egg.
It's really, the egg might be one of the best choices in Sunbreak if it continues its current trajectory. That's all I'm going to say.
Why
Don't
not?
sleep on the egg.
It's excellent after all.
I mean, can you confirm whether or not this is a Wyverian egg?
Oh, that conversation. I wonder when that would come up. That was quite fun.
That's hasn't really stopped yet. People are still, I feel like it's one of those things that just sticks with the game now.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, when community come up with these, they have their fun topics and stuff like that, and the theory crafting and then the serious discussion, kind of like, well, is there not? And then belly buttons come up and then someone goes, well, actually, they're more like Rajang. So they're more beast.
Yeah, that's fair. There was a question about...
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Rampages? Are Rampages customizations going to be expanded in Sunbreak? What do you mean, like, will there be more objectives or there'll be more towers? I mean, assuming Rampages are continued far into Sunbreak, and I feel like to a certain degree, I don't think they're going to go away, but I guess they might be different. They might look different. I mean, even if Jonno know, I'm sure he wouldn't be able to tell us anything.
Yeah, that is one of those wait and see. There's we've got a little bit of time until summer. So, and during that time, no doubt there'll be some really cool info drops. Like I said, spring has been signposted, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, there's, we're not as close to launch as you think, but we're not as far away, So we're in that period where we're closing in on summer. There's plenty of time to reveal more information.
I guess the question was more about Rampage skills. I mean, the Rampage skills, I think, are universally one of the best additions to the series. I'm sure they will continue to add more. I wouldn't be surprised if they added a second slot to them. I could see that happening if there was like a second level of them.
Like a master version or something.
Sure. Or, maybe a kingdom upgrade. Pure speculation. I don't know anything.
Yeah, no, it's good to speculate, and that's what we love to see. What do the community make of these things? What would they like to see, and things like, does it align with what's happening and stuff? I'm going to sharpen. I'll let you have a little jump on Bishop 10 if you want.
I'll try and get the golf swing.
Oh.
I got the golf swing.
Nice.
It's a advanced technique, standing golf.
Yeah,
A lot of people would just go for the super pound, not this guy. Yeah, no, I think the rampage skills were really neat, and it completely, again, like, it's the sort of thing where like everybody thought they'd everything figured out in the first week, and they're like, wait, you can move rampage skills, and it just changes everything.
Yeah. But also about paying attention as you throw your weapons.
I see you attacking. I'm gonna keep going.
Oh yeah, go for it. We can share the head with our hyper armor. I mean, I don't have flinch free yet. Oh, another sleep. I'm loving these palicos. Oh, look at that timing. Be my guest. I'll just do a...
If you're sure.
I'm just going to do an earth shaker as you hit it.
I'm getting a little bit nervous now. Hope I don't whip this. It was,
oh, I fell over.
that was 1,000 damage on the head. The poor little
That's
guy.
Huge. Boop. Lovely hunt there.
So in the past, I think from between 4 and 4U, I think there was like a community poll, and I think it was just in Japan over what monsters people wanted to see return the most. Has that been something that, has ever been brought up before? I mean, I'm sure the developers at Sunbreak are like, please, just let us make the game we want to make. But is that something that you think could ever be brought back again?
I mean, never say never, I guess.
Never, yeah.
Like, I know that the team are really passionate about what the community think and, how they feel about things and community sentiment, which, is really, really lovely to see, because I work for Capcom, but long before I did, I've been a huge Capcom fan for decades and Monster Hunter for, 10 years. So knowing the team really care about what people think is great. And especially, what our favorite monsters and things like that and all those. But yeah, I guess wait and see. But, the team are always watching and always listening. And it's not
I was
just the
confused how
community team as
Cutku
well.
hit the top of that list, though. There's apparently some sort of like culture or something, like this perception that Cutku is like the monster that teaches you how to hunt in Japan. Like he's like friendly. People like him.
Yeah, I mean, and it's quite a funny monster to fight as well. How it kind of hops around and squawks and things.
It's a little comical.
Oh, what's the urgent
whole bunch of questions. Is PC the only other platform Rise will come to?
Yeah, you've got PC and you've got Switch. You've got these two platforms to experience the game on.
I say it's
so yeah, like
okay.
take your pick.
Yeah, I mean, with the Steam Deck coming out, and even I gotta say it, like if people haven't tried using the Steam Link yet, like you should really give it a shot because it's amazing what those guys over at Valve have done. Like even on some pretty old, pretty dumpy hardware, I mean, the game looks and plays fine. I mean, I wouldn't go for any absolute world speedrun records, but you can very easily play the game with it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so basically, if you want to play Monster Hunter Rise, it's Nintendo Switch or PC. And as I say, it depends, where are your friends playing? How do you like to game when you're chilling out? Do you travel a lot? And then pick your platform, basically.
Or you just do both. If you want those, if you want the native, sweet as hell gyro controls that are available on the Switch.
Yeah, let me put my business hat on. Hold on. If you want to be the ultimate Monster Hunter, make sure to purchase on Switch and PC for portable and home hunting.
No, it's great. It really is. It just feels so nice.
Yeah, and so I went back to the Switch as well for the USJ quest, and it didn't feel bad at all. Like some people fear that oh, how could I go back, or how am I getting like a product that's not the same and things like that. But it felt nice, and as well, especially because I have an entirely different weapon, like only sword and shield on Switch, whereas on here, and a little bit of hammer, but on here I'm hunting horn. It feels like I'm playing a different game.
It's a testament to what the team was able to do on the Switch. I mean, it is the miracle of science that they got it to run as well as they did. It's amazing.
Like, especially in handheld mode as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just like
no problem. Yeah, you can barely tell a difference.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, my armor is... I think I've only got 2 high rank pieces on, just my chest and my arms. Got the cooler Yaku gear. So
I actually really like the Chameleos Greatsword.
The Chameleos weapons are awesome. Like, I love the bow. There's like a wand and spell book.
I haven't tried it yet. It looks really powerful. I think it's got like 230 raw.
I love how it looks. Like, I would use it on fashion alone, but I'm a sucker for fashion. My partner likes to take the mickey out of me whenever I play a game because I'm like, fashion first, form after, you know?
No, you're right. No, it's true.
Whereas she's the opposite. She's like, I will use whatever hits the hardest and gives me the best defense. So you can imagine what her hunter looks like.
Well, without layered armor, my hunter
without
is
layered
completely hideous. It is just like, I got like a fish chest. I got the Anjanath loincloth. It's not.
Oh my.
I mean, it's classic
Alternative
Monster
fashion.
Hunter, but it's...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be a scary hunt for me, but we will prevail.
Oh, I've been fighting so much Mitsu. I probably spent
sorry.
more
I was
time
mid-combo there. I apologize.
fighting Mitsu and Apex Mitsu than almost anything else, honestly.
It's my weakest Apex monster. I don't fight it enough to fully appreciate the moveset at all, so it does catch me off guard.
I mean, the body slam,
definitely my weakest.
as long as you don't get hit by the body slam or the water beam, but the water beam is pretty well telegraphed, so it's a little bit harder to get hit by that.
Yeah, he says I just get hit 'cause I tried to roll through it and totally mistimed my roll.
I mean, worth.
Exactly,
Definitely
you know.
worth.
The risk was high, but damn, am I bad at math. One thing I do have, so I've been playing Hunter and I'm a bit of a newbie. Sonic Barrier, so does that stop one flinch and then I reapply it, right?
Yep.
You seem like a gentleman.
Pretty sure. It's a good way to kill people. If there's a multi-hit attack and you just keep
God.
spamming it. Yeah.
It's like Rocksteady Man pulls back with a vengeance. Okay.
Yeah, so there was a game, an exclusive Monster Hunter MMO in China. It was called Monster Hunter Online. It had an exclusive beaver monster. And then it
saw
also...
a picture of that on Twitter earlier, weirdly enough.
The beaver?
Yeah.
Huh.
Someone just randomly posted it under a Monster Hunter post.
I feel like some notes were taken for Banbro. I can't confirm that, but I feel like they shared some notes. And so along with, the flagship, the beaver, there was a monster, and the badly translated name was Kohyaku or something like that. He was kind of like a steam engine monster. He's kind of like a Bracky that just kept running all the time. He had a hunting horn that had the equivalent of that flinch-free song, but it didn't have a cooldown. So you were just permanently flinch-freed. So imagine having Rocksteady Mantle, but none of the damage resistance.
All of the pain and none of
all of the pain.
protection.
So you would never have to worry about stopping attacking. Nothing would cause you to flinch or trip or anything. But it was basically a death sentence if you played that against people that weren't 100% confident in terms of what they were doing.
Hope they had insurance.
It was just like, we'd play with a guy. I think I played with one guy from Japan. And he would start playing all the songs because it had a good song list and it was a very powerful hunting horn. And then he would just type a little smiley face in the chat, and then he would play the flinch-free song. And you just had to play it's like the opposite of what you think. You'd think with Rocksteady, I could go in real aggressive. You had to play insanely carefully because you would just die.
I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah. So I think the reasoning of giving one hit of flinch-free is great because it's pretty well balanced, but
keeps that combo going if if you're charging and it's great. Yeah.
I just think normally they probably don't want to add things that you could use to, in theory, conceivably murder your teammates. The team seems to be very aware over the years, gotten a lot more sophisticated about ways that you could play in a way that would make other people's gameplay a little bit less enjoyable. And that
anti-trolling basically, because 99.9% of the Monster Hunter community are amazing, but there's always that one person.
Well, I mean, with your friends. All right, I mean,
Well, it's always fun when when you've got a hammer user that's launching you in the air, so you can build aerial attacks and stuff like that. That's such a giggle when you get absolutely sent flying by a hammer. But then, you can then turn it into a good thing because, you then do an aerial attack and stuff like that.
I almost feel that's why aerial was added. I feel like there was just eventually a design decision. Like, if people are constantly getting swung up into the air and not having fun, why don't we just make it an attack? Like, it would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I really love about Rise. I love how aerial it can be if you want to play aerial.
Oh, yeah.
Even stuff like the switch axe, like one of its Silkbind attacks, it's like the air dive, and I love it.
Oh, the soaring wyvern blade, yeah, it's really
like
good.
if I wasn't hunting horn for PC, I would have absolutely picked switch axe.
I mean, even if you just use like if you sheath wire bug and then attack, you do the axe chop, which then transforms into the sword transformation skill. It's actually really powerful. If something moves far enough away, that's kind of what I'll do sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
I like to say doot in a way here.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Could I show the Chameleos Greatsword set? Sure. I think I've got a YouTube video on that too, Goopa. I had a pretty good hunt against Kushala.
Oh, I'm loving your armor, by the way. Your armor, sorry to interrupt, your armor looks really cool.
I spent a lot of
the armor
time messing around
contrast.
with layered because I didn't really do it that much on the Switch, but I'm like, hey, I should actually take a look at this. It's I think if people are sleeping on it, they're making a mistake because I don't know that there's been a game where you actually have two different separately colorable options. Was that available in World? I don't think so.
I got a gem. Hooray!
Hey, congratulations. There's some really good weapons here. I don't know how the hunting horn is for Mitsu.
This is a pretty good end screen as well. It's just me with the neck of the hunting horn about to bosh Mizu. And that hungry waffle there wants to have a fashion show on your stream.
Rate your transmog when. I'd love to see it actually. I bet I don't go to Reddit very often at all, but I bet there's probably some pretty good ones out there.
I love going in there. Like there's been some like Demon Slayer ones recently have been cropping up, which have been really cool to see. But no, I love not only seeing like original kind of like fashion displays, but when people kind of have like a favorite anime or game and they somehow manage to recreate them in Monster Hunter. Like, yeah, it's great.
I've had some negative experiences on Reddit. I once had a very long rant on the cost of highways, and then after that negative experience, I just left the website. It had nothing to do with Monster Hunter Gaming whatsoever. I don't really want to get into it. I'm sorry. It's personal. I shouldn't have even brought it up. People are going to make fun of me.
That's fine. That's fine. Not a problem.
I mean, highways aren't that expensive in the UK, right? Like, if you guys need to make a highway, like, what is it? Like 10, 20 million pounds? Something like that?
I have no idea. Depends. Because we have, like, our roads are smaller. They're not as wide as your roads. So
it's okay.
It depends on, it depends if the government want to pay off their friends, but that's a whole different thing.
No, I mean, that's 100% what's going on here. That's a perfectly reasonable experience, Shepard. Thank you. Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better. Ooh, $21 billion for 8 miles. That's like 15 kilometers.
Gosh.
Yeah, I know.
That's spicy. I'm just looking at some new armor, by the way,
Take your time.
I don't get battered.
No, it's no rush. I'll look at my birds.
I mean, I can't really make much because obviously we're getting one of them and then moving on. To get up the HR so we can then farm all the deliciousness.
So I know we talked a little bit about event quests earlier, but I would assume then once the big drop happens in February, can we expect that there'll be the same sort of weekly drop of event quests going up until Sunbreak? Is that something you can comment on?
I mean, I can't comment like formally because I've not looked that far ahead on the event quests. I normally look a month-ish ahead. So, I imagine there'll be more event quests. What that looks like and the exact kind of like cadence, I can't see yet. But once we get there, that I'm sure we'll be in a position to communicate that outwards, so you're not left kind of like twiddling your thumbs, going,
I mean, I can see if we take the World and Iceborne sort of transition, it was pretty much up until the day of release that I think they were releasing stuff fairly regularly. Like 18 Gigante was like right there. In fact, I think there was like even like a tie-in at the end of the quest. It's like, hey, you beat 18 Gigante. Have you heard about Iceborne? I'm pretty sure that was a thing. I can't remember if it was a thing, but I think it was a thing. My
I'm
chat
trying
will
to
remind me.
remember as well. I've just bought some new boots, by the way. You'll be pleased to hear.
I'm gonna take a look at them now. I haven't looked
Got
at your
some
armor set yet,
Ingot
but I'll look
boots.
at it now.
My armor set, yeah. I've made sure I've got Horn, Maestro, and Slugger, basically, and then anything else goes. So, you've been warned.
You've got a lot of Slugger on there. No, the Horn Maestro is a good call. Baggy coil is great. Works wonderfully actually until you can get Anjanath.
Yeah, and say because I've been kind of trying to fly up the. We've done a bit of farming like on Magnamalo and low rank and stuff, but as you know, I'm looking to kind of get, HR7 or HR break. I've not really stopped to make a solid set, but I've upgraded, say, my Yaku gear as high as it can go at the moment and things like that. So
yeah, you
again,
get a little bit of a sunk cost if you don't at least get your HR8 urgent complete, because I don't think you start collecting HR until you finish that.
Yeah, you want to get that wrapped up.
Yeah.
So we've got some new monsters. I mean, we can go for Anjanath. Do you fancy an Anjanath?
I love
Speak
him.
of the devil.
I
Okay,
absolutely 100% love him forever.
Let's get Angie then.
Does the
Let's go
Rathalos
say hello.
coil work as well as the Anjanath coil? Let me just check this out real quick. I don't even know what's on it. It's probably attack. Honestly, that takes a ruby. I mean, Anjanath is just superior in the sense that you get an extra 2 level 1 deco slots. I mean,
I love them deco slots. Yum, 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 yum.
if you're using a raw weapon, it doesn't really matter because you'll probably be able to fit your speed sharpen in anyways. But assuming you're running element, the Anjanath really helps out quite a bit with those level 1 slots. Best change in the series, by the way, is adding in, like, making element level 1 decos. Feels really nice. Slotting all those things in.
Oh, yes. This is a fine addition to my collection.
Dober waste his attack too as well. I mean, I would just run baggy, to be honest, until you get your Anjanath.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think that's what I'll do, and then take it from there.
You're tired of farming him for his gem? That feels bad. I don't know if there's a... We were talking about this the other day. There's not a good Anjanath event quest. I don't think he shows up at all. Zenogre
Not
shows
yet,
up all the
no.
time. He's clearly somebody's favorite.
Everyone loves Zenogre.
He's a good
I think
fight.
the most hunted monster in the world, I believe, was it?
In Iceborne, because he had that one
That's the
quest
one,
for his
Iceborne.
decorations. I don't know if he didn't have that quest if he would have made it.
I mean, he's the big spicy pupper.
I mean, everybody loves him. It's hard not to love him.
We love him so much. We must hunt him.
No, he's really he's good, and I like him in this game too. Apex Zenogre is actually slowly becoming my favorite monster to fight. He's really fun.
Apex and Ogre's moveset and the kind of like ranged attacks
It's a
that
nightmare.
they get is, yeah, it definitely mixes up what you're used to.
So
especially because the ranged attacks come out quite quickly.
Yeah, there's this one move he does where he starts to drop. You'll just see like the little static electricity on the ground, right in front of you, right in front of him, and then he goes into like a 2-hit backflip, and it is easily one of the hardest moves in any monster Hunter game I've ever played to like successfully guard and counter through.
It
It's
just
really-
kind of comes out. It was like that with Apex Mitsu though, with the backflip.
Not
Like,
as
attack
bad
or
in my
tail
opinion.
slam.
Between the two of them,
Really?
like really, like that one move, I'm telling you, it's unreal how powerful it is. Because like you have to, like, if you're playing Lance, like normally people think of Lance like, oh, just counter and you'll be fine. But you actually have to be really careful with how you time your normal counters, any sort of like a perfect guard you may have, and then your wirebug counter. Like he really makes you think.
Exactly, all that. Wow, your stamina needs to be kept in touch and things like that. Like, there's a lot more thinking to Lance than people give credit for. I think, as you said, I think they kind of see big shield block or win, but you're thinking, do I block? Do I counter? Do I hyperguard and things like that?
Well, if you do the perfect parries, that'll keep it quiet. But it's not easy to do. Actually, do I even have it enabled right now? No wonder it's not working. I'm trying to do my perfect parries. It's not working. This happened before where I thought I had the perfect guard enabled and it was just normal guard.
Whoops. I am on my way, by the way. As you can see, I'm still unlocking camps, so I get a bit of cardio in on the way in.
No, I understand. That is one of the things I think I did on my third or fourth day after the game came out, I'm like, I'm just going to just sit down and finish all of the major, like the submarines and all of the camps.
You know, that's a good idea. That was a smart play.
Because you're going to need to do it eventually.
Yeah, and you might as well get the comfort of it rather than waiting ages and, not having what you need. But I think that's what I'll be doing as well. Going around and unlocking all these camps.
It takes like 2 hours maybe. Well,
Yeah,
if you're doing everything. And if you haven't been like doing it slowly over time.
What I should do is basically get the camp quests unlocked and then just, do my hunts and progress that way. Progress quite naturally while being conscious to do them. And I think we'll be groovy.
Just stared right at him as he bit me. Anjanath is seriously one of my favorite monsters.
Oh, super cool. Just like, when they're enraged and, the nose bone comes out.
That actually messes things up for my elemental calculations because it takes 80% raw and 20% water. And 20% water is quite okay. The 80% raw, though, when I was comparing the USJ longsword to Chameleos, it makes it harder. It makes it harder to make a case for USJ there. But it's fine on TO.
That's the good thing.
Yeah, and it still works. It still works very well. I mean, you do a lot of hits that aren't Helmbreaker, and in those situations, the USJ longsword looks really nice to me.
It does look good as well, doesn't it? As well, not just like on the damage from there, but aesthetically, like like I look at the Palamute version of the sword as well, and I'm like, that is very snazzy.
Is there any reason to use guard range even with points in guard? Does it have merit being a counter even though the knockback is less and the buff is lower? You mean Anchor Rage? I mean, the damage buff alone is worth it. I mean, I don't run, oddly enough, I don't run any guard on my Lance because I find that with perfect guards and with Anchor Rage, you don't really need it. If you don't get the perfect guard, then you'll feel really bad.
You'd be like, whoops.
But just like the way I look at the counter, the perfect parry and Anchor Rage, they all kind of work together in a flow. And there's not one necessarily way better than the other. Obviously, if you don't have a damage buff up, doing Anchor Rage to get your damage buff is pretty worthwhile.
Get some tunes out for us. High frame through the roar.
That sonic barrier worked for his roar there, actually.
Yeah, it was very nice. And I like how Hunting Horn has like a lot of hyper armor situations as well. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, once you attach your wire bug line, it's good to go.
Kind of want to get like a Evade up on here or something. That would be hilarious.
I've got a very nice talisman that does have 1 point of evade distance on it, and just that 1 point feels so good.
It's nice, isn't it? It looks cool. It feels cool. You feel super stylish. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite kind of skills to go for.
Have you been clued in about I'm not going to say a recent discovery, but the recent popularity of using fish, the gourmet fish?
No. Please tell me more.
Little interesting tidbit. So you can farm up pop fish from like the first little pond in the Frost Isles.
Yeah.
And if you farm them, you can do the Motley Mix.
Yeah.
And the Motley Mix will give you, for each one pop fish, you'll get 1 gourmet fish. And what the gourmet fish do is they immediately heal all of your red health. But then for 90 seconds, you get actually a very strong health buff. In fact, it's almost as good as a full max potion. But in a way, it's better because it's going to be like constantly topping you off.
Oh, really? So you get the kind of over regen kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's like, kind of like the Valhazak or the Kushala armor regen bonus, except I think maybe even better.
So new healing meta is fishing related. That's cool though, because a lot of people sleep on fishing. They kind of see it as like a little side activity they can do for fun, or maybe.
Well, I wouldn't fish them all manually. I would trade them at the Argos. That would be pure torture to sit down and be like, time to get my fish. Don't do that. Use the Argosy, or whatever the submarines. But it's really nice, and it does work with wide range. So if you use 1 point of wide range,
really?
It doesn't last the full 90 seconds. It only lasts for 30 seconds. But
hey, that's free healer. Like 30 seconds and a
well,
hunt.
yeah, it's could be a lot to top off your teammates. And then if you're doing hunting horn that's got health regen on it anyways, they do stack.
Oh wow! So that's like hunting horn delight, or sword and shield especially.
Sure, yeah.
Like, there you go. Fish meta is here.
Well, with the high ninja sword, I mean, you've got the room. If you want to do a wide range 5, because wide range 5 should give them the full 90 seconds of fish.
That's true. That's awesome. Well, the community always finding out really cool stuff, and
I didn't use a single one
in the most kind of like
Switch
obscure
playthrough.
ways as well.
But that's something that I like to do. I'm not as charitable a hunter all the times in multiplayer, but I have made a set with a 1 point of wide range and then health regen on the horn. And I feel okay about that. I feel like I did my duty when I'm doing SOSs to try and protect people.
Yeah, I think health regen's really nice as well, because you've done your bit. Oh, that was a nice golf swing there. You've done your bit. They can keep fighting if they take a bit of chip damage, and it won't keep building up.
Because it's usually just that little bit of like health that would keep you from having guarded in the first place, and if you're constantly
especially as you
said
said against apexes and stuff. You might be able to take 2 hits, but with that you can like survive 2 and recover.
God, the emergency ones. I mean, there's just some moves, man. Maybe if you were to actually grab all of the spirit birds.
Yeah.
But that,
I mean, it's like
that back slam from Apex Mitsu on the emergency is just so brutal.
It chews for you, and also like I really like Apex Emergency Rathian, because she goes straight through Moxie as well, so you can't rely on your Moxie. I am stunned. I'm about to cast. I really miss my stun resistance. Oh!
Nope, I was just putting it down in time. Don't worry, it's a count. You're fine. You lost enough.
Technically, it doesn't count because I didn't make it back to camp. So
That's right.
But yeah, I think she's one of my favorites to fight, purely because she's so dangerous that if you get a big hit, even with a Moxie up, you're gonna get carted. So I think that's a really interesting way of difficulty scaling, where it's like, okay, well, we don't want the monster to, technically one hit you or break a food skill. However, if this particular skill hits you, because of the innate abilities of the monster, you will cart. Oh, I got a plate. That's nice. Nice.
I mean, I'm into it. I mean, I think the slow incremental release of the emergency tier monsters is exactly the sort of thing that really helps keep like a challenging, interesting content available. Because you have to approach them completely differently. When you've got maxed out gear, maxed out weapons, stuff like that. If you're good enough at the game, you could just like pretty much throw yourself at the monster and you'll probably win. But with the Apex monsters, like you can't, the emergency ones, you can't ever put your guard down. Like you just die. No. like any time, I go in for like the double swing on like a Savage Axe Charge Blade, if there hasn't been like a back slam soon, like I have to be really careful because it is almost definitely going to come out and kill me.
Yeah, it's coming. It's brewing.
Yeah.
And say as well, the quests are a great way to get some Zenny and Rampage tickets as well. So if you're feeling a bit burnt out because you've been farming Rampages, why not do Apex Emergencies instead?
I agree that they do give a lot of Rampage tickets. I feel like they could give more. I don't know if I'm sounding greedy right now, but but I think you usually get like around like 10 on average.
Yeah, I think between 8 and 10.
I think they could, like the Apex Zenogre, they could give us like a little, if and when he hits, they can give us a little bit more than that.
They can.
Because it's just, I mean, at that point, I mean, it's just going into the cat anyways. Like that's just payment to the cat. I mean, that's not being used for actual randoms. It's getting paid in.
A sound investment.
Yeah, I've been fairly lucky with the drops from him too. Like I've been
really?
pleasantly surprised. Like I was kind of like nervous, so like, oh, I'm gonna get stuck without too many good talismans. But I think I got Crit Eye 3 with a level 2, which is really, really nice. And I got Protective Polish 2 with a level 2 and a 1 with a Evade Extender. So like I'm sitting okay for a while. Outside if I get really lucky and get some sort of like magical god charm.
Everyone loves the magical god charm.
It,
I've
it,
never
I mean, it
had
could
one
happen.
of
I
the
mean, those are
magical god
already
ones.
really good though.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some solid charms on Switch.
What is your best one on Switch that you can remember?
Oh, well, I was using it was a Part Breaker and a Evade Extender one, I believe. Or, sorry, not Evade Extender, Evade Window. And then I'd like a couple of level 1 Deco slots. But then I switched it because I really wanted to get into Wirebug Whisperer. But I was struggling to kind of get it into my armor set itself.
Yeah, you can get some really good talismans for Wirebug Whisperer too.
That's what I want. Give me all the Wirebug Whisper. I want to spam my Silkbind attacks.
Yeah. I think on the Switch I've gotten really lucky with Wirebug Whisperer. For PC, not so much, but that's okay. It'll show.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. Yeah,
What's shrapnel ammo? It's like pellet. If you've ever played any of the old games. I think it'll bother Jonno. Tell me if this bothers you. Well, you're using Earthshaker, so nothing's going to bother you.
Yeah. I'm perfectly okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's not... it was historically used... Some monsters would have, like, a magnet in their head, and all the little pellet shots would get sucked into their head. Zinogre was actually, like, one of the first main ones. Kirin was a good choice as well.
Boop. Or the music. It's proper ramping up. You know it's a good monster when there's a choir singing in the background, kind of like Raging Bracky.
Is that a shield? I forgot bowgun customizations saved to the weapon. Saved to the set that you built and weren't saved to the weapon. That's actually a good thing. And it's nice that they got rid of the cost of switching that around.
Yeah, so it's nice to have that convenience. And, I think bowguns are an expensive weapon anyway to run. So, it's nice to have that extra level of comfort.
You can probably start with your Earthshaker and then I'll hit him with the Wyvern Snipe. I mean, I already have, in some cases, I've got 2 different Zinogre weapons just to have the different ramp-ups. And, like, I'm okay with that. I mean, that's the tax you pay when you want to start doing, like, lots of weird stuff like that.
We didn't go far. That's good.
I don't think he's very weak to poison, but I'm going to use it anyways.
I'm a big fan of poison. Like, say, one of my favorite Sword and Shields, and I'm using it on Switch, is the Rathian Sword and Shield.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just, good raw,
Oh, it's insane.
Poison.
It's insanely good. It's
Love
good,
it.
and it just gets better if you get a really good talisman, because then you could afford to get it up to white or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Ooh, that was mean. Zinogre, please. Oh no. I'm stunned again.
Oh god.
It's always the stun.
I feel like I should have done something. Like, I could have done something.
That's okay. That's my own fault. Say I'm not being patient like a good hunter and farming up sets. Like, I'm just like, yes, I will face tank this. Like, it does make me, when I cart, it does make me miss my Sword and Shield. I was like, I could have Metsu.
I wouldn't have, I could have sure you got keep that.
Yeah. Instead, I'm trying to spin on my butt, but I don't know the timings perfectly, so I normally get slapped.
So I don't remember if there's like the normal recovery shots in this game. I know there's healing Wyvern Snipe. I have to admit, I have never used that skill before.
Nothing says I love you like a Wyvern Snipe in the back of the head.
I mean, have you used it?
No, like I say, I've not done any gunning on Rise. I've been sticking purely to melee. Oh, I've just come back and I got absolutely slapped.
Recovery shots are here. Well, I unfortunately do not have any in my inventory. I feel like maybe this Chameleos heavy bowgun was too strong. You know, he's got a 70% hit zone on his head for shot. That's crazy.
Oof.
In
That is
1.0, I
big.
think people were just using the Anjanov bow on him, not because he's weak to fire, just because it had the highest raw at the time.
Yeah.
The poor little guy. I don't remember his head ever being that weak to shot in the other games, but I could be misremembering.
I know. I mean, I always just stick to his head normally anyway. It's just nice and breakable, you know. He's got one of them heads that you
Gets
just
you good
want to break
flinches,
those
yeah.
horns.
Very satisfying horn break, too.
Oh yes. It's quite easy to hit as well. It's not like a fiddly head, I find.
Oh, I got a gem. I was looking for one of those.
Hey, congratulations.
Nice.
Your good deed is paying off. Carrying me through.
Yeah. Our shot hit zone's better overall. Balanced? I don't know that they've ever been garbage overall. There's almost always a spot on a monster that you want to shoot that's weak to shot damage. I don't think Rise is that much different.
I've written Nagakuga.
I have to have some sort of like meme weapon I can equip right now. Hold on.
Oh yeah, there's gotta be something.
Dongos?
Have you got like? Is it?
Dongo dual blades? Can I make them?
Delicious snacks. Let me go look at the armor. Can I get any new armor?
Yeah, I'll just use these.
Can I
I'm
make
missing
a
a
nice
Somnicant
waist?
sedative, but it's good enough.
That'll do.
What's a good end-game dual blades? I've got a whole... I have 2 extensive videos on dual blade math analysis. I feel like such a nerd saying this out loud. That are on the YouTube channel, and almost everything is the same there. The difference is that Kushala is decent. It's definitely viable.
Yeah. So I've just switched I've took off the baggy gear and I've put on some Rathian gear just for the higher armor, and also I now have recovery up and wide range. So you know,
that's
I
nice.
just need my fish.
I don't know if I'll get a single sleep off of this. It says sleep 5.
Well, my Palico's running a sleep weapon as well.
Well, so my guy is too, so maybe
That's
that'll
all
be
the
enough.
snoozing explained.
I will eat for specialist, and I think I'll have, if my math is correct, I will get 6 sleep. Since the North America Capcom shop is shut down, is there any good way for NA folk to buy Capcom merch directly? Can you buy from the EU shop?
It's worth a go from the EU shop, I suppose. The shipping shouldn't be too bad if it does ship that way.
That's a good question. I know the Hook had that question. I know he's had that question before. I'm trying to think the last thing I bought. I think I bought a big art book from the NA store. Let's see.
Oh, is that
actually,
the
Specialist
the
got
Rise
me
Up?
8 sleep.
Ooh.
That's a huge bonus. I wonder if Specialist is a flat 3. Now I need to test that.
The science is coming.
I always thought it was a percentage, but I think it's flat. No, that's amazing. Guys, that's a 60% bonus.
Oof, that's huge.
You never see scaling like that.
Lucky life found already. Oh my goodness.
I should be able to grab it.
I'm on my way.
From what I remember, the Nagakuga, what is it? The hunting horn's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, like top 5 popularity and kind of like, you know, damage and skill wise.
Yeah.
And you know, Narcokuga weapons do look really cool as well. I'm just sad I couldn't upgrade my Magnum Arlo one because Magnum Arlo wouldn't give me a plate. It was hard enough getting a second scoop, let alone a plate.
We'll be able to fight him pretty soon, I guess, at the rate that we're going.
We are absolutely chunking through.
Well, I just switched to food weapons, so
I have
it
to
might slow down a little bit.
I have to be careful. Like, so my partner's favorite monster is Toby Kadachi, and she has a tattoo of Toby Kadachi on her ankle.
No way! That's intense.
Yeah.
Like
So,
the art, like the little like almost like
It's the
caveman art,
actual-
or like a
Yeah,
full,
it's
like,
that kind of
artistic
style.
one?
Like
Yeah.
the I guess the logo. It's not a logo art, but yeah, the cave painting style art of the monster. So it looks really cool. But so yeah, I'm not allowed to. You know, if she's around, I'm not allowed to kill it. We can capture it. But
Yeah, no, I'd capture Toby. I love Toby. He's actually really hard in this game.
yeah, they like Toby Kadachi, like Giratodos even. Like, you know, they got some nice buffs, and even like Baroth as well.
I
You
get a
know,
lot
like-
of Giratotus SOS requests.
Really,
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think a lot of people are afraid of the
disrespect
mudfish.
Yeah, like, you know, it's gone from being a bit of a meme to, like, you know, serious business.
Well, he's low-key has some really good armor pieces. I think his chest and his arms are both like really good.
I'll be honest, I like the look of the armor as well. It's that kind of Athenian, I think, is it, or something like
Yeah.
that kind of look. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Oh, straight on the head.
Nice.
See if I can try and get an Infernal Melody off. I'm still building the gauge. Right, this should be fine. Yeah. Take the dango.
It's awkward. It's amazing.
There's blue clouds just popping everywhere as well. Oh, I got tracked during my move. That's very rude. I have a little sippy sip. Do you know, I've been forgetting to use my Felvine all these hunts.
I've been bad with it.
It's so strong, and I can't believe I haven't been doing it. Especially because, you know, I want to get those pilfers in.
It's another sleep.
Oh gosh, I've already connected. Sorry.
No,
I
the
was
Earthshaker's
mid-animation.
perfect wake up. No, there's no problem with that.
Over 200 damage there. I'm going to line up the Felvine so it's sat there looking at me, so I can't
You
not
can't ignore
use
it anymore. Jiragaloves are 3-2-1s. Sometimes, especially for gunner sets, having that extra level 3 slot is like the difference between Rapid 2 and Rapid 3. That's why
Which
they're
is
so
huge.
valuable.
Yeah. Right, the Felvine is down. Yeah, Baracho's like, I'm playing a sick riff while you beat him up with Dango. It's like the most. It's like the most aggressive restaurant in Gamura.
You did your
Says
homework.
one-
Eat your dessert.
Yeah, it's like the whole gimmick of the restaurant is to treat the customers really poorly, and that's what the kind of like. We'll force feed you delicious snacks while playing music aggressively in your ear.
The aerial attack on dual blades. I know. On your way up, you're invincible. You might lose it before you hit the ground. But I've tested
Oh.
it. It's definitely until you reach at least the apex of your jump. It's
You know,
pretty
I'm
safe.
not used to seeing so many blue sleep clouds coming out in a hunt.
They're not worth a lot. Okay, it's only 8. Don't get too excited.
It's delicious. It's beautiful.
It almost looks like you're like hitting them with like the sugar, I guess.
It does. Yeah, wafted it into their eyes.
Yeah.
Like pocket sugar.
I should have scatterfish. I don't think I ever really run sleep weapons. Not like this, at least. They did do Somnicanth pretty dirty in this game, if I have to be honest.
Oh, really?
I just like, it's hard to find too many of his weapons that feel really good to use. I feel like there's a
always an
fear that
interesting one,
sleep may
right?
become
Yeah.
overpowered.
Sleep is one of those abilities on weapons, I think, where, like, oh, what am I doing? So that's my bad. I wire fell back
Oh,
into
no,
the
classic.
device.
No, everyone does.
That's me being a bit of a a bit of a kind of like overly zealous hunter.
Just bring bombs with you because he just fell asleep again.
Have I got any bombs on me? Let me have a look.
Then I guess I'll have to.
I've got bombs. I do have bombs.
I've just had the normal ones. I mean, the sleep modifier used to be higher. At least as far as I think Freedom Unite, it was 3 times damage. Now it's just only double damage.
I hope I get there in time.
Like, there was legitimately some hunts, like Gravios, where you could just use like a sleep weapon and large barrel bombs and just very easily beat the game. Or at least beat the monster.
Yeah, and to say that, as we were talking about before, I was so rudely carted. Yeah, sleep weapons are one of those weird ones where if you make them too strong, they'll absolutely be the meta because you'll sleep the monster, bomb it or whatever, or do a big hit and then go back to it. So yeah, they're definitely kind of on that cusp where the balance is so intricate, I think. But you know, great in a team, team environment.
I mean, you know, if you've
or even if you want to be a sleep bomber, like SNS sleep bombing and stuff like that.
Sure. Well, the Shoryugeki, I mean, would almost make it worth it.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
When did it change to double damage? I think in Try, but don't quote me on that. I don't want to get like taken down by the monster committee. He's like, it was actually portable third, not Try, Shepard. It's like, okay, I'm sorry.
How could you get this wrong? I trusted you.
Your credibility
You were the
is
chosen one. Right, let's get the Thunder Beetle going. What? Ooh.
But certainly in a hunt, I mean, the value of the sleep is invaluable. I mean, a good wake up and
Yeah.
then 8 mega barrel bombs, like, damn.
Huge. And also, like, if you're fighting, like, I know it's harder to get sleeps off on, like, Apex monsters and stuff, but when you're in a hunt where it hurts to get hit, having that breathe-in space and, you know, in that damage window can be huge.
Yeah, I mean, their life is actually not incredibly high. So stuff like that actually does end up being, like, kind of disproportionately powerful. And even on, it might seem silly, but even like Narwa or Ibushi, being able to get them to sleep because like they have to go through their entire sleeping animation as they go on the ground, you can actually get a lot off.
Yeah, say like, and you know, oh, there's Toby gone to sleep as well, look.
Oh, he's so cute. Wait, what? Was he sleeping the whole time?
An endemic, one of the Palicos used the endemic life barrage.
Jabberwock, I apologize, but we've already covered eggs at least once this stream, and it was covered again on the last stream Jonno was on last month as well.
That is a lot of Nagakuka.
And he already has to field that question every day on Twitter, so I do.
I see it every day. Every day. Every day I take a step further away from omelets.
I just can't ever look at it ever the same.
Hold on, is it another? Oh, is it like the semi-urgent quest, or is this an actual?
Oh, you might have your you've got your rampage. Yeah.
Do you fancy it?
Of course. It's so much. I mean, it's a lot better in a team than it is solo.
Oh yeah, I actually enjoy rampages in a group, like because you know I see it as quite a social experience, you know, and I do quite like tower defense and stuff like that as a genre. So yeah, I've got a soft spot for it.
Thinking of getting into Rise as a beginner, would bow or longsword be a good starting weapon? I mean, longsword and bow were both incredibly powerful weapons. In terms of which one is easier to learn, I'd say probably longsword. Bow really takes off once you get later in the game and you have the armor skills to help manage your stamina. Whereas longsword, I mean, pretty much the only thing you really want or need would be a little bit of quick sheath, and then you're ready for the races. Jonno is the European Capcom community manager. I always like mix up the order of that, and I'm sure there's probably an official one.
It's a long one, yeah. So I look after EMEA, so Europe included, and there's also for Germany there is Steffi as well, who's another community manager for Monster Hunter, and then obviously you all know Yuri, who is the senior community manager, and he's over at Capcom USA.
Yeah, it's a good team.
A wonderful team. Like, you know, they were so welcoming when I joined. Do you know what's been like 4 months now since I joined, I think?
Time has no more meaning anymore. I mean no, I don't know
with
whether to
all
say
the
it's a long
lockdowns,
time
you know?
or a short time. It feels like yesterday.
It does. Like, you know, and it's nice coming over once a month and hanging out, you know?
You want to see this little cutscene? We can watch the cutscene.
It's up to you. Where's my queen?
Yeah, I mean, in general, I usually like to recommend Hammer for people that are starting for the first time, only because the moveset is very easy to figure out, and you could focus more on avoiding hits from the monsters rather than, you know, trying to time like some very complicated timings on attacks. But, you know, the longsword has a lot of defensive options if you know how to use them. So, you know, they're
Hammer's a
both fine.
good choice. Like, and actually, I had someone chatting to me on Twitter about how they got their friends into Monster Hunter, and they recommended the hammer, and they're having a great time with it as well. And also, you know, you get stuns, and obviously, you know, you can stamina drain and exhaust the monster
Exhaust
as well.
is great, stun is great. Sword and Shield is great too. At least in Rise. In World and Iceborne, it can definitely be a lot more complicated, but in Rise, you can just kind of focus on the hard basher combo while you're starting, and you can still get KOs and stuff like that. So
what have we got? Repel.
it can be a very, you know, shockingly stamina or sharpness efficient weapon because you're just hitting them with your shield for the most part. The main thing with the sword and shield is if you know, whenever you finish a combo, you want to finish with your Reaping Slash. And I've got a series of videos on my YouTube channel going over the damage analysis, and you'll see basically no matter what combo you do, if you've got the time and the ability to do so, hard basher into Reaping Slash is perfectly fine. I feel like Hammer drops off. Hammer really kind of depends on lots of impact crater usage. That's really where it shines. Your impact craters per minute.
Yep.
Can really help determine your damage.
Above Whisperer, like.
And my assumption, and this is obviously who knows, but I think that specifically will be kind of looked at again going to Sunbreak. I mean, certainly there'll be new switch skills anyways, if not new wirebug skills as well. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that along those lines gets changed a little bit for Hammer, so it doesn't feel like you have to rely quite so much on Impact Raider. I might just go in with my weapon. I hope you don't mind.
Go for it. Go wild. I will.
Early on, I just feel like I don't really like the weapons. Oh god.
I just like to try and get the little repels. I'm obsessed with the objectives. I'm like, yes,
it's very
give me those ticks.
Very helpful to get them. But if I repel with the weapon, technically I am getting an objective now that I look at it.
That's true, exactly. We're both working away at it.
It's just the gate crashers. They scare me.
Oh, they are pretty. I mean, especially when it's a Kezu, right?
Yeah. Well, I think Ajnoth is probably my most feared, but...
Really?
He's crazy when he... Well, yeah, I mean, he just does so much damage so quickly, it feels like.
It's always funny when Rachna comes waddling in as well.
That's an interesting question. Jonno, what is your favorite thing about being a community manager? Huh. I mean, you've been doing this as a career for some time now, right?
Yeah, like 8 years, I think.
I mean, Jesus, like you might actually really like it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, like
you must like it at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, and this sounds really cliche, but you know, I've been a huge fan of games and gaming since I was tiny. You know, my first console was a Master System.
Sure.
And you know, so getting into this is a dream. Like, I love engaging with the community. I love working with creators. And the thing is, it's my passion. And you know, I'm incredibly lucky to work on a series I genuinely adore, and have spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours playing it. So you know, and it's that bridging that connection between players that are super passionate as well and the dev team, and like working on the social is fun. And yeah, it's hard to put one thing on it, but it's doing something I genuinely care about and enjoy. And you know, gaming can be seen through quite a negative lens in regards to, you know, like online gaming and stuff like that. But
people get pretty heated, but it's still just a game at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But I mean, honestly, I mean, we get down to the end of it, it's just you're just playing video games.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, there's also so much goodness in it, especially, you know, the friends you make, the people you meet, and kind of facilitating environments and encouraging environments where that can happen for more people is a really good thing. And especially, you know, for the last couple of years, we've been in a pandemic, so those online friendships you have are like even more important.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good way of looking at it too.
and also, it's super exciting and rewarding to work on like, marketing plans and social plans and see people enjoy it and engage with it and see how it benefits the game and things like that. But yeah, I really like it. I mean, I'd say, you do have to have a thick skin a lot of the time.
Oh, there's always one goblin. I hate to say it. I mean, you can't say it. I can say it. There's always one goblin in the in the chat that's like, well, why isn't it on PS5?
I mean, it's like like those complaints that come from like a place because they want to play the game. They want to play the game. It's not like they're being like toxic or antagonistic. They're like
it's a little antagonistic. I think it's a little, at least a little.
I mean, kind of like intentionally, because it's coming from the right place, but it's not being presented.
There is a passion.
Right.
There's absolutely a passion there.
Yeah, it's not someone just coming in and kind of, you go on the Steam forums and some zero Steam level account makes a post that's like, oh, Monster Hunter's really poo, ha ha ha. If you buy Rise, you're a silly bum. And it's like, they're just there to be an idiot. And it's like, so when people come into the space looking to be disruptive, that's annoying. But if it's a fan that's, said they can't play Rise on like, a home console or something like that.
It's understandable.
I get it. Yeah. But no, like
Capcom would be more than happy if you could buy it on every console release. I mean, they're not gonna be upset about that. They're just, for whatever reason, they have the consoles they can release it on.
Yeah, so in Switch and PC, it's a lovely spread. Yeah. But then I'm lucky enough to have a Switch and a PC or something like that. So it's obviously always worth keeping in mind that some people might only have one platform.
Right.
So that's why it's doubly important to them.
Well, I mean, there is to some degree, you don't want to, I mean, the small fringe benefit is the community doesn't get split as much. When you've got PS4, Xbox, and PC, now there's like three characters you want to manage and then 3 communities that you may or may, have to play with. I mean, that was my situation. I've got characters on all of those for World.
But the thing is, it's quite fun as well seeing, because all the communities are different. Like, I fully expect to see that the PC player base use different weapons to Switch, for example. And then you see a difference even regionally between, like the Japanese community and then like, the Western or American community. Like where's longsword really popular, where's sword and shield really popular, where's range weapons really popular. But yeah, it's just fun. I like, I'm very outgoing. I like connecting with people. I like sharing feedback and working with the dev team. And I love video games. And I think they're great. And being able to, as I said, help facilitate environments where people can enjoy it and expand their social circles is, it feels like a blessing. I feel incredibly lucky to do what I do. And, being at Capcom has been amazing. Like, because I hadn't worked in AAA before. And I was like, gosh, is this going to be so different to indie? And it's great. Like, yeah, it's great. Like, yeah, still pinching myself a bit.
I don't know if you talk about it, stream. The company used to work for that I'm aware of. They did some pretty decent stuff. I mean, I know they had a pretty big indie arm as well, but they're not. I don't know. I guess I don't know how to. I mean, Capcom, I guess, is this AAA you get outside of first party. From that
like you look at Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Mega Man, Street Fighter. And also I love stuff like Dragon's Dogma and Lost Planet as well. Like, I love those games.
The Capcom Creators Forum has people. There was a mini riot about Dino Crisis at one point. I'm not sure.
Oh, really? See, I never played Dino Crisis. I played a lot of
You call yourself a Capcom community manager? You've not played the PlayStation 1 game Dino Crisis?
Don't tell Kat, okay? Right, she'll come over from Resident Evil and get me.
It's actually, I mean, it was a fun game. I don't think I ever played the second one. I definitely played the first one.
Yeah, see, like, I remember the game, but I never played it myself. But that's because, right, and in my defense, I had a Sega Saturn.
Were those more popular over where you were?
No. It got, I think PlayStation was a lot more popular.
How did you end up with a Saturn? What there had to be a game that you wanted.
No, my dad bought it for me. I wanted a console. I wanted to upgrade from my Master System, and we bought it secondhand, and it had Sega Rally and Virtua Fighter. And that was that. And then I got like the light guns. I had like Virtua Cop and stuff like that. That would have been really fun. Cop 2. Virtua Cop, yeah. And like House of the Dead. But no, yeah, and that was that. And like my favorite game, I think, on Sega Saturn was definitely Guardian Heroes. Like that. Well,
that was like the sickest like pixel art sort of beat 'em up game ever. I've never had a chance to play it. Has it been
Yeah, you
re-released
can-
anywhere in
You
modern?
can get it on the 360.
What?
Yeah.
That's probably backwards compatible. I could probably get it on my Xbox
I
series
believe
if I
it
look
is.
for it.
I believe it is. But yeah, and you know, so I've always loved game, and I had a Game Gear as well. And you know, like my first foray into a Capcom game, you know, there was the Street Fighter and the original Resident Evil on Sega Saturn, which I rented from Blockbuster.
How did that play on the Sega Saturn? Probably okay.
Really good. I didn't get far because it really scared me, and I was quite young.
I think as a wee lad, a small child, I think I did try to beat that with only the knife.
Oh wow, what are you playing as, Chris?
I guess so. I recall getting the timing down to get the dog's mid-jump. Which, I mean, I regret saying that because now people are like, well, show us, do it on stream.
Yeah.
I don't believe you! But at one point, I was able to do it.
That's cool. That's awesome. But yeah, I'd say, like, you know, and then as I kind of grew up, like, I spent a lot of time playing Lost Planet 2.
Good game. Really good game.
Loved it. And I've always been a huge Devil May Cry fan as well, ever since the first one.
Really good.
Just so cool. Like how it mixed, you know, how the original was a mix of horror and action. And then obviously it fully embraced this action and style and coolness.
I loved how it originally got developed. Have we had this conversation before? Do you know what?
Yeah, but it was a spin-off of Resident Evil originally.
But do you remember what specific moment they're like, oh, we should just turn that into a game?
You've mentioned it, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
There was they were working on Resident Evil. I don't know if it was the original or like whatever, Resident Evil 2. And there was this bug where like I guess they were hitting the zombies and they were like twitching and flying up into the air. And the developer for Devil May Cry is like, that's sick. Let's make a game about that. You know, hitting things with air combos and stuff like that. That's great.
Yeah, like juggling. I see as well. What's my favorite hunting memory across all the games? This is a really interesting one. So I've been playing since 4U, and there's something lovely about when you've got your 3DSs and stuff, and DSs and stuff, where you're playing with your friends, and it's a very you're all sat around the sofa or whatever, and that social element. But in recent memory, I think beating Fatalis for the first time was really nice with my buds, and also like Alatreon. Like, those really tough hunts where it really puts you to the test, and you do it with your friends. Like that social side to it. It feels really like a group victory. And that's what I love. I love the social. Like Monster Hunter is an amazing single player game, and how it scales, and you've got your hunting buddies and stuff like that. But I've always loved the social side of it.
What was that like with your friends? Like, were you guys able to get it done in like one night, or was it sort of like a couple?
Well,
was it take some preparation, get through Fatalis?
Alatreon first was like get my butt whipped for the first night. Then we go back, we address our builds, make sure we have like as much element as possible. Fatalis was the same, get beaten for a bit, figure it out, go and farm the full Alatreon set, come back with all that element defense, and then take him down. And it's a long fight. And then you've got you've got all the music playing, everything like that. You activate the Dragonator, you're in the home straight, but it's still as dangerous as ever.
No, that's the scariest music in the game when you hear the Dragonator, the Proof of a Hero for Fatalis, because it's like,
and,
everyone always dies.
Exactly. You're equally motivated because, you got, that playing in your ear, and it's the most amazing tune. And then you're getting really hype and aggressive, but it's this mix of fear and excitement, because you're so close yet so far. And like, how many other games really evoke that emotion? In regards to, the only kind of thing I can try and compare it to is like, when you're playing a battle royale and it's the first time you're in a 1v1 to win the match, and it's that kind of thing. And just because of all the adrenaline and stuff, it really sticks with you. It's one of those kind of flashbulb memories.
Yeah, no, I mean, Monster Hunter, it does have that unique feeling. I mean, nobody does bosses better. Demo Magamalo evokes that emotion. Certainly.
Yeah. It's the sense of satisfaction when you're going all out. Anything could happen, and you succeed. And it's normally in a really cool way, like you swing your weapon and knock the monster back, and you've got this huge damage window. Talking of damage windows, here's an Infernal Melody.
Ooh. Oh, perfect timing. Oh wait, no, the counter signal went away.
Out.
Damn it!
Just as it ran out, there we'll make another one. But yeah. And I'd say for those that obviously, looking into community management, going back to that point as well, there's no set way into it. There's so many different paths. But a big thing is, be social media savvy, multitask. If you've got skills in editing suites, very, very useful. And be creative, if you're a moderator somewhere for even do you moderate for a Twitch streamer, for example? Are you active on Discord and stuff like that? What fan groups do you do? So don't write yourself off because if you've not got a marketing degree, because I don't, there's no right way to come in because there's so many different
oddly
paths.
enough, I had a marketing job at one point with literally no marketing experience. I don't know why that is.
Do you know why? Because you were able to market yourself well in the interview.
It was bizarre. I guess I did. I'm like, but I did say at one point, I don't have a marketing degree, right?
Well, say yeah, neither do I. And the thing is, it's kind of when you look at actual, development itself, a lot of people kind of do it outside of their education. It's something they just learn and do.
Well, there's some stuff you just can't teach either, though. To be fair, to be very fair, there's some people are people, and then there's some people not people.
Yeah, and the good news
Best
I'm a
kept
people
out of the
person,
public
so I'm
eye.
lovely.
Some goblin lair somewhere. Not me, chat. I was the marketer. Goblins on Twitter too. How much time would you say you spend in content creation in terms of video editing and Photoshop? Then would you say that takes up 10-20% of your day sometimes?
I think 10% could be a fair one. Obviously, over time, you improve as well, and things like that. So it varies. At the minute, I'm not doing a lot of video stuff. It would just be putting age ratings on or sniffing bits up for social. And obviously, I'm lucky to be part of the team.
Socks used to be the one.
Socks is a fantastic video editor. Yeah,
well, not only that, he was the one doing I think the Iceborne weapon demonstrations for the new skills.
Yeah, obviously, he's fantastic at the game, but yeah, he is an astute video editor, very good at what he does.
No.
And now obviously he's a producer over at RX Gaming.
Yeah, very cool.
So he's kind of carried that over. But yeah, he's very, 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 very good video editor.
I was going to say, but that's does that mantle fall to you? I guess I
can video edit. I can do rough video edits and stuff like that, stick stuff together, do nice transitions and things and add bits in. But, it's very much like a team effort. And, if we need to, we can work with other teams to do more complex videos and stuff like that. And the thing is as well, community managers, there isn't a set mold that a community manager comes from. Every community manager is different, and each community manager brings different things to a team and the table, which is a great thing about working in a team as well. No two CMs are really ever the same. So it's really about, knowing what your skill set is and kind of being able to apply it to what you do. It's good to see so many Proof of a Hero fans in chat as well.
It's the way it's been used in the last 2 games has been amazing, only because it's don't screw up.
Yeah. Do you know what though?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I got two. I got a bird wyvern gem, and I got another beast gem. Ooh, very nice. But my favorite, I think Monster Hunter song, just Pippin Proof of a Hero, is the victory song from that you get the Quest Complete on Free U. I just really like it, and obviously it plays a slightly tweaked version after you beat Alatreon in Iceborne.
Yeah, very nice. The third gen throwback is wonderful.
Yeah, I just love it. Absolutely love it.
I think we have talked about talismans, and of course, guys, Jonno can't go in and edit the game, Yeah, who knows? His power
No, I
level could
can't
achieve someday.
I can't be like, hey game, do you know that I work at Capcom? You should give me
But I think
the
we have
wet
talked about
talisman.
that. I mean, I think you've probably heard the feedback of it would be nice to have quests where we could get talismans as a direct reward. I mean, I don't think there's anything you could really say much else other than we know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool suggestion. As I said, I like, and I don't know what the plans are around that kind of stuff for Sunbreak. So, but no, we love seeing feedback. Like, there's nothing wrong with sharing feedback or suggestions and stuff. I think it's just being aware that if the game doesn't implement, say, an idea, like don't be mean. Because as well, game design, it has to happen a long way in advance, and while some things can kind of change relatively quickly, a lot of other stuff can't.
Once it's baked in, it's baked in.
Yeah. But I'm really like super excited for Sunbreak and what summer's going to bring.
Yeah.
I can't wait, and it just because as you know, it's stuff. There's some things I know, there's some things I won't know yet, and it
was great the first stream because you're like, look, I just started.
Yeah, I've literally.
They haven't even given me a binder yet.
And like, I love do you know what I really appreciate as well as a fan, as well, is just how open the team are and the directors are on social about sharing stuff, and it's not just like one of those kind of this is a message we want to tell you this. It's the director, like the director Suzuki posts are translated from what he says.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I want to share this. Here's what I think would be cool to share. And he does it. And I really like that. Like, even in AAA and even how Monster Hunter has grown, the personal touch from the team, I really like. Like, and I don't know if that's me gushing a bit, because that's what I like as a
No, it's true. I mean, well, just look at everything that was done in, say, the Guiding Lands in Iceborne. I mean, how many
the changes,
title updates that were that is like, we looked at the Guiding Lands again. We've been listening to your feedback. We did something else.
Yeah, and I like that it's attributed back, as in the community have been talking about this a lot. Okay, here's the deal. Here's what we've changed and stuff like that.
Final patch. That some changes were made to tenderizing. Claw boost deco, the ability to meld, the shield up deco. I mean, everything. I mean, those are all. I tell people all the time now. I said, World is one of my favorite games ever. I mean, just flat out. Iceborne was amazing, but like final patch Iceborne, like that might be like the perfect game. Like everyone that has an issue with tenderizing, like have you tried playing the game again? Because like it lasts 3 minutes.
It made it a lot easier to kind of like
easier, and it lasts like so long now. People are going to call me like a tenderizing apologist, but it's really not a big deal.
Oh no, I got stunned in twos. I don't want to cart so quickly.
Can I get you with a bug?
No.
I'm getting you with my bug. I can't do it.
Oh, you know what? My Palico tanked the fireball. Literally ran in front of me. Otherwise, I would have been on the floor.
So I did see one comment, and actually I had forgotten because I didn't want to mention it. So for PC, obviously a lot of us are playing at 1080p. Some of us might be playing at an even higher resolution. UI scaling. It's not that big of a deal for most components, but if you're a hunting horn player, it's a good amount of the screen space taken up by the UI and the songs in general. Is that something?
The Dutin. Yeah, I mean, we've seen a few requests people asking about UI scaling. It's something I've fed back. Obviously, once again,
Right. Only in your ability to do so.
The team appreciates when stuff's fed back. I don't know what will happen from it, if anything at all. But, they're always keen to listen, what are the community like and what are they saying? And
they're at least aware that people would like to see it. And again, who knows? Because like we were saying, when things get baked into a game, sometimes they get baked into a game.
And you never know, like, what is the UI connected.
They could change
to
the UI, and then
or,
suddenly Rathalos ends up being like, 1 meter long. They're like, how did that happen? I don't know.
But yeah,
they wanted UI scaling, and I was the size of a palamute.
Yeah, it's like what's happened here? Obviously, like Magna Marlo's like like 10 meters long.
Yeah.
And it's like, spin to win.
I haven't used Insect Glaive much this playthrough.
I saw the coolest Insect Glaive video on Reddit earlier of someone just going full aerial with it and absolutely battering, I think, a Kushala in a rampage.
It gets so strong in the air. It gets like up to double damage, I think, by the final combo.
Was it or Apex Rathalos? Yeah, it just looked really cool as well. Like, as I said, like how different the weapons are. I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, you know, because I know people like to meme on Insectglaive sometimes and stuff like that. But I was like, yeah, this person gets it. That's
Ariel's
really
not a
cool.
meme. Ariel's not a meme anymore.
Oh no, Ariel is where it's at. Oh, I need to. No, I'm terrible. I should have just not got greedy and gone for it with the first one. I'm sorry. I should have gone for the lava.
Do I have
I've let you down.
Kinsect power up and rise like you did World. So do you mean like spirit and strength boost? That's not in the game, but there's actually like an incredibly deep system of Kinsects now. There's like so many different varieties. For the most part, usually you end up using an assist bug, but there's definitely a lot of play styles that you can do that can accommodate all sorts of interesting things.
Anjanath.
He just walked up and was ignoring us.
If only I had my Earthshaker. Oh, nice, because we get a second Wyvern ride now on Rathalos. And then...
Here, I'll wake him up with this.
Oh, no, it didn't give me the second... Oh, I did it during the animation, didn't I? No!
We got a shiny out of it.
We did. It could, you know what? That could be a gem. That could be the Rathalos Ruby that you're after, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Diobak, if you're a huge fan of Insectglaive from World and Iceborne, I'd say it's definitely been given a lot more depth, or at least you've been given a lot more options. Like, Aerial was rarely like a main damage option that you would use in World or Iceborne. I mean, it was interesting for positioning. Situationally, I think it probably could be okay. Like, Ice Element on Lunastra's wings was probably not as bad as people thought it was.
Like Sappy Jiva, it was always nice sending someone up.
Oh, yeah. But now it's like actually like legitimately really good damage. And just with the way the wire bugs and the fights have been designed for being like quite a bit more 3D, you use the aerial space a lot more. Isn't Wyvern Ride a cooldown anyways? There's a couple different Wyvern Ride cooldowns that can work. There's one's done through your own aerial attacks. There's one done through monsters attacking each other. And then I think the final one is you flinch-shotting them into another one or whatever it is. Launching.
Yeah, so yeah, so you're absolutely right. And I messed up because I did it too soon on the wake up.
I think the variety of the insects is actually really interesting. The only other thing that makes me sad is the Rampage Insectglaives, like, kind of hard to use if you want to have a good bug.
Really?
Well, because you can either have, you know, I think a level 7, level 8 bug, but then you lose like 20 raw on the weapon, which is kind of a lot. No,
Oh,
Puppet
straight
Spider
down.
is another one, that's true.
Well, I'd add some damage to the tail for you while I was at it.
I might get the cut if I focus it.
Hey, another stun. Love it. Boop-a-doop-a-doop.
I don't know if there's a Heartbreaker bonus for the Diving Wyvern.
Ooh. That's a cool move. I see a lot of that in like little compilations and clips.
Well, the nice part is if you whiff the Wyvern dive, sometimes you still get like a little hit from your bug.
Hey, nice work on the tail.
He'll come out and he'll deal a little bit of extra damage. Before I got that decent protective polish talisman, I think the best talisman I had Heartbreaker on it, and it's always so like handy having like a little bit extra part break damage, especially if you're going for like.
Oh god, I like Heartbreaker, especially like, if you're playing solo and you've got Heartbreaker 3. It's just like
everything just pops off.
Everything's just falling off. You're like, I love items. Thank you very much. Give me all your parts. I might be able to get off another Infernal Melody. Yeah, should be good. Yeah. But I'm surprised at how much the Hunting Horn flows. Like, you know, finding all these little things that you don't see when you look at a weapon from when you're playing it. Like, I love how it flows. Oh, nice.
I've still been messing around with my combos.
On
like,
the Insectglaive?
No, on Hunting Horn. Because like I'm still trying to decide which one I like the most. I kind of like recital or whatever, perform to the B attack. I think it's crush.
Mm-hmm.
And then that lets you go straight to a super pound, the XA.
Yeah.
I've been doing
I think
that a lot recently.
I love when you press, or for me it's circle on my PlayStation controller, and you like do the kick. So what if you've done a slam and you kick the hunting horn back up?
The kick is really fun.
It's such a nice little touch.
Yeah. Now the some people think that the hunting horn's simple, and it's like you can play it in a certain way that you don't have to know much about it, but there's really a lot more depth to it than I think people give it credit for.
Yeah.
Like you could play the whole match and just perform if you wanted, and it would be okay.
Just spin to win.
You like YA recital?
YA recital. Oh, I see a triangle, circle, triangle. I'm gonna have to give that one a go. Because say at the minute when it comes to combos, like I'm still like learning them because I'm also looking at my songs. I'm kind of splitting my attention between wanting to play songs and, you know, doing the rest.
Maybe I'll do a hunting horn
nice.
too.
Volcano's young son plays hunting horn. Not only is that super cool, but also you benefit from the buffs as well. So
I'd be really proud if you had a child and they did hunting horn. That was their choice. That would be wonderful. And it doesn't even feel like it's, you know, held back at all in the context of the game. Like the damage feels more than fine. Like I would assume like maybe a little bit slower than Sword and Shield only because you had so much experience, but I'm sure that your hunting times are about the same, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, what's nice about like hunting horns is even if you're mashing buttons, you still put out damage.
You're doing something.
Yeah. It's not like say like Sword and Shield where if you're kind of just mashing buttons, you'll probably end up doing like a pretty kind of like less impactful combo or attack chain, should we say? Whereas hunting horn is just like boop doop boop 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 doop, and there's songs playing and there's stuns going off and things like that.
I'm gonna bring my earplug horn, and the nice thing about this is because you have your horn, I don't have to worry about. I don't have to bring beat of resonance.
I guess we're both just dooting off.
Although I wonder does my beat of resonance go off when you play songs? I don't think it does.
That would be. Can you imagine everyone just dooting around?
A 4-man beat of resonance hunt.
New meta.
I mean, 1 bead is a joke, but 4 beads is a threat.
Yeah, imagine like 4 healing horns with like beads down on the
just
floor.
Popping off constantly.
Let me play you the song of my people.
Absolutely. I'd forgotten that Barioth actually has some pretty good armor pieces. Some of his weapons are really good too.
Really? I've not looked into them too much.
The Switch Axe stands out. It's being really good.
Really?
I mean, it's still really good. Even though Kushal is like probably one of the best Switch Axes in the game. For ice,
I do have the Kushala sword and shield as well. I do like that a lot. I'm liking how chat's like, yeah, actually, you know, you kind of do freeform player kind of like inspiration with the hunting horn. It's like, yeah, well, play whatever you want. I'm sure it'll work. Oh, I just got the boat shells I needed for another submarine. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's so important. So helpful.
Oh, yes. All right, that's mean. I'm going to go over here.
Bludgeoner Mind's Eye Barioth is good on Rachna and Teostra. Does it get down to green that quickly? Does it have enough green to manage it?
Uh-oh. There we go.
Maybe Tio's back legs are just like that bad?
I need to get my tunes. There we go.
Probably the least useful instance of stamina use reduced ever with hunting horns, but that's fair.
We appreciate it for when we'll fancy a job or something.
Yeah, there's a if you end up going with a rampage hunting horn at some point, one thing to keep in mind is you don't have to do it because it's completely optional. Is some of the earlier song lists,
Yeah.
you might like better, like the early like Rampage
Oh,
2
really?
hunting horns. They have
Sorry.
like a song list with elemental attack up, which can be kind of fun if you're playing with people that
Nice.
use a lot of elemental weapons.
Yeah, get the bows in there and make bow people very happy.
Since Bludgeoner is a great value brand, blue sharpness skill, do you feel it's a good enough skill on weapons even with blue white but not larger sections of green? I mean, blue is still better. So if you have a choice between maintaining your blue or going down to green, I would say in general, outside of like the weird cases where you might be doing like Bludgeoner Mind's Eye builds, you're better off just running Protective Polish and keeping that up. Because the awkward thing is like if you want to lock your green to take advantage of the Bludgeoner, like what do? Like, you can't sharpen and lock it. You just have to keep burning through it. I don't know. Just my opinion.
Oh. I think Barrioth is a really interesting monster because it's one as well that it's easy to underestimate. And I think it's like quite a strong monster and a little bit of a mini wall, arguably, especially if you're kind of like not familiar.
People in Iceborne.
Oh god, definitely an Iceborne.
He was like the new pink T-Rex for some people.
Yeah, that Anjanath 2.0.
Yeah. I think Alatreon currently holds that title.
I mean, yeah, especially because obviously the meta being very kind of raw focused.
Yeah.
People weren't ready, and I really like the fact that the team were like, well, why just put another monster in that people will wail on with their like super
use their
raw
raging
builds.
Bracky weapons. Let's make them fight
Yeah.
Roth.
Yeah, let's mix it up. Get your elements out if you want to pass here, And you can even do it with dragon weapons, which a lot of people kind of who are very raw focused will sometimes gravitate to anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I thought it was nice. So once again, it's a new type of difficulty. It's not just like make him hit harder or have like a ton of health. It says make him hit hard and have a ton of health, but how about this? And it's nothing that we don't already know as Monster Hunter players about elemental weaknesses and strengths and stuff like that.
Maybe for some people.
Yeah, but I say like I guess
I'm
some
a little
people are
snarky
stuck
right
in their
now.
ways.
Hey, for some people, it's a new thing.
Absolutely, and it's easy as well to kind of forget, that not everyone's at the same level as.
Well, they just might just go with just whatever the highest raw weapon is.
Yeah. So yeah, and the thing is, it was a really hard hunt. It was. But so it was. What was it like? So it was Alatreon, and then Frostfang, and then Fatalis, right? It's the last three monsters.
Pretty much.
It's one of the. It's one of the last monsters added as part of the Master Rank expansion. So that players will have something super challenging to fight. Once the content drops. Yeah, like it's one of those things where, like you're not expected to just walk in and batter it and be like, that was nice.
Although
it's
eventually,
one of those ones.
The one you needed to fight for Fatalis though, was a baby.
Yeah.
That one was a little bit weaker. I wonder if that was in response to people. Like, they wanted people to fight Fatalis, but they're like, we're not going to make you have to fight the full Atrion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was like, that was kind of like a lore. Was it kind of like a lore kind of connotation or something?
Fatalis had messed him up, maybe. Sure.
Yeah. You remember how hard this monster is? Well, you've just gone and got one that's
He's been weakened pretty badly.
Yeah, you just bad at like, it's how thing like, someone found like a giant great white shark with a massive bite out the side of it, and it's like, oh. So there's a bigger fish.
Although I'll say the Rajang Kirin.
Oh, that's
was he called Shatterhorn? What was his name?
What
It was just a Kirin with his horn was permanently broken and he was permanently enraged. He was actually kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, you just made me remember the clip of Rajang snapping off the Kirin horse.
Amazing.
Absolutely
one of the
brutal.
best motion capture footage ever created. Baroth and Tri was infamous back in the day? Absolutely. If Baroth and Tri didn't exist, I may not be making content today. I'll just say that right now. No, I mean, because that was the stuff that people tuned into. They couldn't get past Baroth. And Baroth was hard in Tri. That Kirin didn't have much HP. He was kind of low in HP, but he was permanently enraged.
Yeah, Kirin in World was the hardest one for me as well. Like, you're like playing chess with a monster while bouncing off of its body. Electric chess. earplugs L. Ooh.
That's why I like this horn. I like it. It's, you know, like I said, the stamina use only really matters if, I guess, dual blades or bow. But the defense and the earplugs, like, this is the set. It's either this or it's my Teostra hunting horn that I bring on SOSs.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get the Teostra horn.
Yeah. No, Teostra horn and then the wide range and the fish. I mean, you'll be...
Fish!
I mean, you'll be the guy.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be the guy people like, you see pop up like, I'm not going to die. Not today.
Yeah. For those Apex emergency quests, you'll be in the corner like, doot, 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 doot.
Jonno's
them alive.
strong hands. Have you been able to get back to training recently? I know when we talked about it a couple months ago. You have? How's it been?
I have, yeah. I'm back into great. Like, my chest is like really good. Should we do a countdown? All right, let's go.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I was already doing it.
I went, oh yeah, there you go. You got the win. No, my training's going really well. My strength is going up nicely. So like, I'm getting near my old like chest PB from when I was a young man in my early 20s.
Sometimes we take a little bit of a break. It feels like that happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I guess your body fully recovers. You know, you're not kind of like subtly tired.
Sometimes it feels like
anything.
I mean, I don't know. I have no scientific basis on it, but it does feel like you start to overtrain at a certain point.
Oh, you can absolutely do that. Absolutely.
You're just constantly fatigued. Like I guess after, you know, a couple months, 5 or 6 months, you should take like a couple weeks off.
Definitely. Yeah. But no. Thanks for asking. No, it's going really well. Like I'm back up to 40-kilogram dumbbells on my chest,
Jesus
which is really
Christ.
nice. Yeah, like, you know, and I got my wrist
88
supports
pounds,
on.
guys, a dumbbell.
But that's from like, you know, I've been working out for like 10, 11 years. So it's not like something I've gone, oh yeah, I fancy getting strong. I'm going to spend a month doing this.
No, that's clearly a long time training and something that you clearly enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, and the big thing is, as well, like you don't have to lift heavy weights to get strong and look buff or anything.
No, not necessarily.
This is just me. This is me, like, because I say, like, we've spoken this, like, when you're working out, the only person you're competing against is yourself.
It really, that's
no one
the
else.
only thing
no
that should
one
matter.
else. And the only reason I'm pushing that weight up is because I'm like, I'm challenging myself. I'm like,
you always want to see how much farther you can go, right?
Exactly. And that's why I'm doing it. And yeah, it was fun. And also, I'm for like my other stuff, like I did biceps and back today for my lunch break.
Yeah.
And I was like able to do more reps of pull-ups, which is nice, and things like that. So yeah, like it's going really well. How about you? How's the fitness journey you're in?
I think I maybe had just after New Year's, so like maybe a week or two, where I didn't do anything, holidays, whatever, and new game launch or whatever. But I've been back at it, and don't feel any weaker at all.
Nice. Yeah, they say, what is it? It takes 6 weeks of doing absolutely nothing and not eating well before your body even starts to consider.
It doesn't feel bad
a bit. Yeah, like, and even then, if you're eating well, your tone might not be there because you've not done anything for 6 weeks, but your muscles are still there. They're just waiting to be woken up.
No, I'm going hard on the protein.
No, I'm all about the whey protein.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
All protein all the time.
Yeah, and for lunch on the way back, I picked up a pasty, a lamb and mint pasty, and a portion of chicken and chips. All about them gains.
Nice. Absolutely. I got some bougie Cheetos that are made of like milk protein. They're not like corn
nice.
or corn or wheat or anything. It's just protein. It's great. That's little
cool.
snack. I'll have one after the stream. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I was going to say, should we make this one the last hunt? Because I've talked.
It's probably very late for you, and if you have not eaten, you must be very hungry.
I've not. Well, I have not eaten, and neither has my partner, and no doubt she'll.
Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, yeah, let's finish it here.
And also I've got chicken pie for tea. So that'll be quite exciting.
And you got some traveling tomorrow too, I think, right? So.
I do just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. So I've got a day off tomorrow. Gonna go and visit my family for the day.
Well earned, well deserved.
That would be nice. Yeah, because I say, like, crikey, how it's been, 2.5 weeks since Monster Hunter Rise launched on PC?
Yeah.
So 12, like, that's flown by. And as well, like, actually, we don't spoke about the launch too much. We spoke about the game, but, what a fantastic launch as well. And, I think
literally flawless in every way.
Yeah, and so the only
no
main
technical
issue,
hiccups.
Like, it was just these failed to save bug, which is a really weird one.
Yeah.
But thanks to, and you know what, thanks to the community giving DX diags, thanks to a couple of creators that experienced the bug, passing over information, and just the community telling us and kind of giving us the space to fix it after we acknowledged it.
Do we know what it
was great.
Like, is there?
The team do. I think it was something linked. I think it was something linked to like cloud saves, or
and
something
that was
like
able
that,
to be
or
fixed.
profiles or something. Yeah,
Well, I know the patch that came out last Thursday, I think, fixed it.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, because there's the thing like you have to kind of delete a save, disconnect the cloud, reconnect the cloud. Yeah. But yeah, the fix is there, and everyone can jump in now. But yeah, it was such a lovely launch. It was quite funny because I was like, it's my first kind of AAA launch, my first Monster Hunter launch, and I was there with Yuri and the team, and I was like, cool. So what do we do now? And they're like, keep an eye on stuff, because I was like, oh, it's very controlled. It's nice and relaxed. It's really nice. I've gone totally the wrong way.
They're like, just you wait. I mean, I had people coming into the stream, and I was telling them, like, look, I promise you, they're aware, and they want you to buy and keep the game. So they're going to be doing everything they can to get it going.
The last thing you want as a game developer is for your community and new players to not be able to play your game.
Right.
That's the last.
I mean, if there's something they don't like about the game, that's like whatever. But if they can't actually get into it, that's not good.
Exactly. But yeah, no, that was fixed relatively quickly considering what a strange bug it was.
It's bizarre. I mean, it does sound like it. I mean, I don't know. I wish I knew what it was from just like a technical perspective. Because if it was just a Steam thing, that would make sense. But I don't know. Why it affected some and it didn't affect others. It's just like a mystery.
Exactly. And that's why, I think it slipped through the net, because it's one of those very weird edge case ones where it's not actually hardware related or, something within the game itself. It's kind of one of those really odd things. But, thanks to the community being so open with us, rather than just kind of you going, oh, this sucks, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, they were openly, they were definitely openly angry people.
Through the frustration, which I fully appreciate, especially, when you've seen this game from afar for 9 months, and finally it's coming to your platform.
That's here, and then it's like this one little thing getting in the way.
But through that, they were still willing to work with us to provide information, which greatly sped up the process of identifying a fix. So yeah, other than that though, like, it's great. Like, and the team is still watching the forums carefully, making sure that, if anything else crops up or, what's working, what isn't.
I think at this point, it's just the niceties that people might want. I mean, nothing, certainly nothing game breaking. I mean, in the literal sense of like, my game's not working.
Yeah.
I've really gotten onto the Savage Axe playstyle with this Charge Blade, and it is one of the absolute most enjoyable things I've ever experienced. And I was really negative on it at first. I'm like, I don't like it. Savage Axe goes away when I sheath. But now that I understand, it's like actually kind of genius.
This. You know what it reminds me of as well? It reminds me of the whirligig saw in Bloodborne, and that's my favorite weapon in Bloodborne.
I need to do a playthrough with that.
It's an incredible weapon. You literally, just pizza cutting and whirring through monsters and bosses.
It's a strength build too, right?
I think it is, because it's a mace when it's like, it's two-handed.
When it's not
one-handed. Yeah, and then when it's not a big meat cutter.
I could do a stake driver whirligig. I mean, it's going to be a busy time for video games. I mean, how does I would assume people at Capcom, yourself included, probably have a pretty good relationship with the From Software guys. I mean, the launch window is kind of closed, but there must be some chatter about Elden Ring in the office, right?
Yeah, speaking on it from like a Capcom Europe and Capcom USA side, we're all huge gamers, all of us. So, we're all talking, we're like, a lot of us are getting stuck into Monster Hunter at the minute, obviously, but, like a lot of people are like, have you picked up, have you picked up Elden Ring? And I've got the physical edition pre-ordered, and I normally go digital. So, I've got that pre-ordered, you get some like patches, like no pun intended. But like, there's patches, there's like little stickers, like a digital soundtrack and like a map or something.
Yeah. Well, map will actually probably be useful. The first time I could remember like being able to look at a map of a Souls game and actually being able to follow it really well. Because, like, there's that huge overworld now, right?
Yeah, like, it looks great. And that's the thing, you know. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to, you know, so I'm spending a ton of time on like Switch version and a little bit on PC version of Monster Hunter as well. And the reason I haven't like rushed ahead on my weekends with the PC version of Rise is because I wanted to kind of use the official streams, the official streams as like a way to like spotlight the low rank content a bit and kind of do some low rank hunts with new players.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, it's been enough time now where I can climb up the ranks and things like that, especially with February looming up the end of February.
Well, you're saying there's going to be new. Well, you didn't say it, but we could speculate on it. There'll probably be some pretty decent event quests coming if there's going to be one big drop, and then you know, presumably they're going to keep dropping things.
Yeah, and you know, I want to test my hunting horn and get a proper set under me, take on like Apex Emergency and stuff, and see, you know, how good am I with the hunting horn? Just get my heels out, you know. Oh, lovely play there.
I got it.
People
were telling me to cut the string, and I said, okay.
I'm cutting you off, Rachnicadak.
She actually has quite a large number of trips that you can pull off on her.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I love this monster. Like, I mean, I was a big fan of Nasilla, so I guess this is unsurprising. But yeah, I think this monster's great. Yeah, but I mean, like the Seltas Queen as well is another favorite of mine. But yeah, like I think this is such a great monster. And the thing is, I'm scared of spiders in real life. she doesn't scare me that way because whilst she's clearly an arachnid style design,
she doesn't really trigger the normal sort of spider
I think
look.
She moves not like, you know, like a scuttly spider. If that makes sense.
She's mostly like glided.
Yeah, like I was saying, you know, she is the Wandering Widow. And I love like the yokai inspiration behind this monster as well. Like it's very dark and like obviously we shared the concept art of and like early design variations of her as well over on Twitter. And yeah, I really like everything about this monster. And the hunt is really fun. And as you said, there's loads of nice breakable bits, which is always really satisfying, and trips.
How does how Heartbreaker work with that? Does it work as well as you think it would?
I mean, on my sword and shield, it was just like constant, like, you know, just flashing up on the side. I recommend it if you want to kind of, you know, keep
I've never really thought to run it
weapon.
before, but I think that would actually, like, increase your damage.
I really like Heartbreaker, like, especially on sword and shield, because you have blunt and, you know, severing damage. So you can really get the best of both worlds, whether you're going for, like, you know, a head break or a tail cut or anything like that. Yeah, like, I like it.
It's like you get the breaks on the webbings, and then you just get the breaks on the egg sac, and she just keeps going back and forth, I think.
Yeah, just constant. Oh no, I don't know what I was aiming for there. Oh, I must doot. See if I can get a quick Infernal Melody off before the hunt ends. Yeah. Didn't get the hits, but you've got a delicious buff, which means my Earthshaker will be tasty as well.
I mean, it's a lot of damage. I think it's... I know the normal attack buff is 10%. I think Infernal Melody is like 20 or 30% for 30 seconds. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's... Is it 30 seconds Infernal? Is it that long?
I think so.
Ooh, if so, that is delicious. Oh, it's just popped off for me. No. Oh, I'm stunned. I'm doing well at getting stunned now. I need to make some stun decos. That'll be my mission.
For the hunting horn, if you want, instead of the ingot legs, you can go the hunter legs, and they do come with stun resistance 1 and attack 2 as an alternative.
But then I'll want to get stun 3. It'll be all or nothing on.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is strange where it goes like 60, 90% and then immune, but whenever I use it, I don't feel the 1 and the 2 level skill at all.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's there.
Suddenly you've got 3 and it's like, oh, this is delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, there she goes. Nice. That was clean.
Sometimes I feel like I get carded from her super easy. Like when you're inside and she like climbs up on the ceiling and she starts flamethrowing around.
Yeah.
The attack does so much damage.
I think the key to Rachna is you need to stay on her. Like, as soon as she gets a moment to kind of set up.
Yeah, starts flamethrowing around.
Yeah, which is why I think she's got, as you said, so many trips. Because you need to keep her. You need to keep on her. You need to stop her getting away and doing that. But if she does get away, she's gonna make it hard for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really interesting approach to the hunt.
I might try the. I might try that part breaker on her because that's an interesting idea because like you really would just get nonstop trips.
Yeah, she'd just be down loads.
Chaos, I can refer you to the official Capcom video policy guideline as to Capcom's approach to modifying your game. That's all I can do. That's all I could say.
It's like you're like the bodyguard or the PR.
I mean,
and you'd be like, no, well, no more questions.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's it's best just to leave that in a gray area. You don't care? It looks cool? Okay. Well, I can refer you to the official video guidelines. All right, well, that was some wonderful hunting, Jonno.
That was. It's always lovely to catch.
HR7, that means you're basically there.
Yeah, getting there now. Like,
I assume you'll be fully decked out, but if you're not, next time we will do that Maldo if you want to finish up this hunting horn.
You popped me on your shoulders tonight, definitely.
Launched you forward. I didn't have like I could have probably tried to find some weaker things. For a while I was using the dongos.
I mean, that was funny as well, though, as well, wasn't it? That was hilarious. Just all the little blue puffs going, and the sleeps from the buddies as well.
All right, so everybody watching, if you haven't yet so already, make sure check out Jonno at his Twitter, as well as the official Monster Hunter Twitter, as well as...
Oh, that's very kind. Yeah, definitely check out the official Monster Hunter Twitter. It's cooler than I am.
And then the official Monster Hunter Twitch channel as well.
Yes, we'll be, obviously, if you're already hanging out with Shepard, don't come over and see me. Like,
no. We'll
stay with Shepard.
I'm on all the time.
Shepard.
Yeah, I'm on like 50 hours a week. You usually do your community hunts. Normally you do it on Thursdays, right?
Thursdays normally, yeah. We did 3 streams a week for the last 2 weeks because honestly, I was really keen to just hang out with the community and stream like over the launch weeks. But yeah, back to 1 stream a week for now. But sometimes it'll increase. So tomorrow afternoon GMT CET kind of time, which I believe is morning for the United States. I think
time zones. I don't.
Yes. It's a different time to what it is here.
Yeah. Well,
a lot earlier.
Thank you so much for your candor and your candid responses. It's nice. It's nice having a great community with community managers that care and engage in dialogue with everyone. It's very much appreciated.
Well, it's humbling to be invited into your community and and the Monster Hunter community in general. You're also welcome in. It's an absolute pleasure. It doesn't feel like work, chatting about something we all love and enjoy playing.
I mean,
and shout out to your community as well for the lovely questions. And I've been reading the comments as well. And everyone's been really chill and really nice and funny. It's great.
It is Twitch. I can't control that.
Okay. Oh no, honestly, hey, it's all good. Like I've been chuckling to myself, while we're playing and stuff like that. So shout out to your community as well.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for your.
I see that as someone puts nut tasty, and I'm like, yes, thank you everyone. You're so lovely.
All right.
But no, that's been great, and thanks so much, Shepard.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully, February, I will keep my ear to the grapevine if there is. I mean, all right. Let's say theoretically. Well, we know that the quest dump will happen in February, right? That's assuming a
mid
critical
to late February, kind of late-ish February. Yeah, we're kind of.
We'll try and plan a time to hunt around then because that sounds like a wonderful time to go in.
Yes, we should. Maybe I'll be at Apex Emergency. Oh, I will be at Apex Emergency.
I mean, we can try and do an Apex Emergency gauntlet.
Oh gosh, go through the whole.
Come on.
So we have to
start with Arzuros and we can work our way up.
Yeah. All right, and then what? Do we have some sort of thing where, if we triple cart, then there's some sort of, punishment?
I could be totally into that. I could absolutely be into that.
Okay, we'll call it the Apex Emergency Challenge or something a bit more interesting than that.
If I donate subscriptions to the official Monster Hunter channel, who gets paid?
It goes into Papa Capcom's pocket.
Do they do something with that?
I honestly don't know. I have not looked into it.
Who's taking that? Somewhere like the original person that set up the Monster Hunter Twitch account is just like sweating maniacally, like, oh no, they're gonna find me out.
But yeah, it's always nice when people subscribe. But I'd say, give it to your favorite monster.
I was going to say, like, I could maybe
you know?
donate to subs to the Monster Hunter channel, and you can donate subs to my channel. I don't know. That's just an idea.
We should come up with something.
We'll come up with something.
too.
It may not be that.
Yeah.
It probably won't be that. But
Yeah,
that's an
some
idea.
sort of like light-hearted form.
Yeah.
If we triple card.
All right, that sounds excellent. That sounds great. I love that. I love that
Triple
idea.
card and you
I'm
can't
very
use the weapon
excited for that.
again.
All right, everybody say goodbye to Jonno.
Have a good one, everyone.
All right. Jonno, thank you again so much. Take care.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, and that is probably that for me for now. How long have I been streaming for? A little bit. I'm trying to think if what time I'd get back on tonight. I'm going to need more than an hour and a half, probably. Overlord Dean, no. You like the podcast format? I really like having Jonno on the stream. He is a treasure to have, and I am glad that he indulges me with hunting with me. Keep an eye on the Discord. Like I said, I don't know. Stream Zomboid on Variety later. Probably not. Not yet. I don't know if we'll be back on Twitch or if we'll be back on YouTube tonight. Because it's an awkward amount of time. I have to eat dinner. If I'm going to get on after 7, normally I wouldn't want to stream after 7. But we'll see. I'll figure it out. Let me eat first. Have I beaten Great Jagras and Rise? I could make his sword and shield. Thanks for the stream. You're very welcome. Can you not make a sword and shield yet? It's right here. It actually gets white sharpness with like Handicraft 2 or Handicraft 3. It's pretty good, actually. It was actually a very popular sword and shield for a while. I think it's beaten by Rathian now, but it is good. All right, I'm leaving. I love you. Goodbye. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.